Welcome in, guys. So, I posted a video a couple days ago, and I shouldn't be entering into this like it's a video. But honestly, I've never been nervous for a stream before. Um, but this one I kind of am because I'm moving in a different direction. Um, and I know the majorities. I know all of the people who have subscribed to the YouTube channel have done so because of video games. Um, and because of current events, like I said on my other video, I'm kind of moving content a little bit. I'm shifting around um, because I feel like maybe my attention needs to be elsewhere. And so the title of the stream tonight is "What is the right approach?" And it's kind of a pun because it's the right, as in like the Republican Party, having to do with Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. But then it's also what is the right approach when dealing with open conversation. I have a couple videos that I have set up that I would like to watch. Ava, what's going on? How you doing tonight? Welcome in, welcome in. I'm just kind of going over what I'm going to be doing tonight on stream. But I have a couple videos that I'm going to be watching. And I think I kind of have a good case for my opinion on this. So Charlie Kirk is notorious, or was notorious, for, at least the people who watched him, not like the headlines, but actually his actual debates and stuff. He was notorious for sitting back, listening to people's arguments calmly, responding calmly, being respectful. And there's another person that is prominent, or starting to become more prominent on the right, as a Christian conservative person, and it worries me. It's not like Nick Fuentes or anything like that. Like, he's got his own world to deal with, and I don't think that he's too abrasive to gain priority, and he's too off-putting for a majority of people. But the person I'm going to be talking about tonight is Andrew Wilson. He's been on the Whatever podcast countless times, debating people constantly. But my thought process is he is way too abrasive. He is way too vulgar. He is my way or the highway. Whereas Charlie Kirk was much more, oh, okay, yeah, okay. Maybe I'll do some more looking into that. Interesting. Or, no, you're wrong. This is why you're wrong. I'm sorry you feel that way, kind of an attitude. So I would like to get into this. I still have the same transition set up. But yeah, I want to get into these videos because I think it's important to kind of be aware of what is out there. Okay, I had it saved to my watch later. Sorry guys, this is like all new for me. Here we go. Okay, so
own body.
Oh, hold
if
on.
someone doesn't
this is just
care some
Folks, let me.
this is a conversation between Charlie Kirk and an LGBTQ activist, and a discussion on abortion. Rod, what's going on, brother? And I wanted to watch this full interaction. It's 14 minutes long. There is a little bit of cutting in it, so I don't know what was removed. I haven't watched this original debate. But I wanted to watch this full interaction between Charlie Kirk and this person and see the way that they communicate. And then I wanted to pull up a video of Andrew Wilson having a similar argument on the Whatever podcast and like see the difference. Because honestly, I don't see Andrew Wilson as the answer. And I think, in my own personal opinion, I think he wants to be. It just seems that way. Now, if he wants to get in the comments and say, no, that's not true, I'm actually a super sweet person, and I I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. I'm a super sweet person, and actually, I just do this for the clicks or whatever. Maybe that's the truth, but let's just watch this. I'll skip past this ad here quick, and kind of get into this. And let me know, guys, with the volume and everything. I need to know if the volume is too high, too low, all that stuff. So keep it in the comments. I'm going to be reading the comments while I'm watching this. And then I'll kind of take breaks and stuff and kind of point things out that, as I go that I see. And we'll kind of go from there. And how is the volume on this video?
So why do you care so much about other individuals living their lives? Why is it affecting you? Do you have something up your ass or something?
Okay, so just that little click right there. How is that audio? Like compared to my voice now, is that way too low? Is that good? Where are we at on the audio? It's good. Okay, so you guys can hear it okay? I can hear it all right in my headphones. I just didn't want it to be either blaring, so that way when I'm talking, I'm either way quieter or I'm way louder. So this is all like a test thing for me. Like I said, this is all new, so let's just listen. I'm backing up just a hair.
So why do you care so much about other individuals living their lives? Why is it affecting you? Do you have something up your ass or something?
Well, I could throw that right back at you. Why do you care so much about what I have to say?
Because you're affecting other people's rights. You're taking away people's choices. You are hurting people. Read the Constitution.
What rights am I taking away exactly?
You're trying to take away gender-affirming care for individuals. You are affecting abortion rights. You are hurting people.
Got it. So what is a woman?
What is
Yeah, so there's a clip there, so there's a dialogue missing, and like I said, I didn't see this original video, so I'm not sure what the dialogue is that's going on there. They may have had like, I don't know, a 20-minute spar session that I can't interact with or whatever, but yeah, so they go from all the LGBTQ stuff and then abortion, and then he asks what is a woman. So we'll see where we go from here. I'm not sure exactly how this video plays out.
a woman? It's what people identify as, is a gender. Sex is different. Sex is different from gender.
So can anyone be a woman?
Yes.
At what point do you know you're looking at a woman?
Doesn't matter when you are looking at a woman. You don't have to look at a woman and immediately tell. Can you tell looking at a baby what gender they are without looking at their privates? Tell me that.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. What about that baby is different?
But hold on. By the time they're 6 months old, you can actually tell a young boy tends to gravitate more towards balls and remotes.
That's because of gender affirming. That is convincing individuals at a young age. You are socializing, putting them in situations where they want certain different things. Let's look at...
Okay, so I know that the crowd is getting really involved here, but I have a bunch of kids, okay? And I have a young girl. I've had 3 boys before her, okay? And I have all of the boys' toys out and about, all able to be played with. And then we also have dolls, doll houses, like pots and pans, you know, kitchen play stuff, ice cream stuff, and all that. And like stuffed animals and stuff. And my boys have always played with stuffies. They've always played with pillows and stuff. But it's not, I don't think that this is actually a valid argument, and I don't know like the studies behind it, but just life experience wise, my daughter, all she wants to do is pick up baby dolls, and like you can put like a tractor in front of her, or like we have like all these little cars and stuff. Like we have a gang of cars that we've gotten from family over the years, and my daughter could care less about the cars. They're right there. They're right next to the dolls. And my daughter only wants to play with babies. She only wants to play with dolls. Now, maybe she is like a unique specimen of a child, of a little baby girl, or I don't know. But what I've seen so far, she just wants the feminine stuff. She wants to play with her little purse. She wants to do the things that mommy does. She could care less doing the stuff that I do, messing around with tools and all that stuff. Like the only thing that she does that I've seen that's like masculine is she puts my dog in a headlock, and she weighs about 40 pounds less than my dog. So I don't know. Let's keep going. And I don't like this. The crowd is obnoxious.
So let's say you were a little kid and your parents
she's
taught
being
you
a little
to like
obnoxious
pink.
too.
Let's actually look back in time. Pink
Love you
actually
too,
used to
Rod.
be a male color instead of blue.
Also, my kids love the color pink, and I love the color pink. Okay, we don't have that in my house. Blue is not just for boys, and pink is not just for girls. We rock lots of colors in our house. My favorite shirts that I own are pink. My blue and pink shirt that I wear when I'm streaming sometimes with the collar on it, it has pink parrots or flamingos or raspberries or, bro, pink is my jam. All the ties that I wear are pink. Come on now, get out of here.
In what world? Actually, in the 1920s.
She had a hickey on her neck. You think that's a
So,
birthmark?
so you say that I'm here to take people's rights away.
Yes!
That is your main contention.
Yes, because
Right.
you are affecting the LGBT. You are affecting women's rights. If I was pregnant, oh wait, let's go back to this. Abortion is anything. If I had a cyst on my uterus, that would be considered an abortion. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Look at
That-
okay.
Yes,
Anything
it
that is
is.
evolving the uterus.
Well, no. In order for it to be an abortion, it must be a human life.
No. Anything that is
yes.
evolving the uterus and you have to get rid of it, it is considered abortion.
No, that's
Yes,
not how
it
that's
is.
not how it works. So again, you say I'm here to take rights away.
Yes.
Do you agree life is a right?
I feel like if it's a clump of cells, then it's not alive.
No. But let's go back. Do you think every human being has a right to life?
Depending on how many weeks, but let's.
Oh, so wait,
get-
hold on. Who's
No,
trying to take
no.
rights away? I want to protect the rights of all human beings. You call them a clump of cells. Who's trying to take rights away? Exactly.
So when is it a human being in your mind? When is it a human being
At-
in your mind?
Well, it's not even on my mind. Human development objectively begins at conception.
At conception. So even if I had a miscarriage, what are you going to say about that?
It's a
Yeah, Devi. So I don't know if you saw my last video I posted, but my gaming streaming and stuff is currently on a hiatus. I've actually like had zero interest in even turning on a video game. And this whole thing that has been happening, the assassination and all the division and stuff, it's really, it actually affected me a whole lot more than I thought it would. And I think that we need to have like a calming, which I know like half of the people don't want to hear that. But what Charlie Kirk did, going to campuses and talking to people and like just having a civil discourse, I think is so much more important than me playing Warzone or playing a video game. And just watching these and like seeing the interactions again, or even for the first time, I think is just so important. Yeah, this seems way more important to me right now, if that makes any sense. Oh, and what I was going to touch on the video. So she was saying like a cyst on the uterus would be considered an abortion. It's just, I don't think a lot of people actually believe that that's what's going on. And I believe the conservative or right-leaning version of abortion is just the elimination of another human life without trying to save it, without making any attempt to save it. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see what Charlie says here.
tragedy.
It's a tragedy?
Yes.
Okay, then let's talk about like what if it's affecting the woman or anybody who is pregnant in this situation? What if they're gonna die
Yeah.
and they have to get an abortion? That's the only way they're gonna live. Are they going to be over?
Well, hold on. Just so we're clear, that's only a couple thousand cases a year.
No.
And so, yes, it is.
Have you seen
But-
how many individuals have already
Yeah, but-
died
but-
because they haven't been
but
able to get abortion care?
Abortion in the life of the mother can be put aside as something that needs to be considered. However, it's not always necessary. But let's talk about the main thing, because there's over 1.5 million abortions.
Okay, so I think he's going to get into just like the willy-nilly abortions, or the ones that aren't involved with rape, incest, and threat to the mother's life. He's just going to talk about all the rest of them. But another point that I've heard, another argument, is that if the mother's life is in danger, the answer isn't kill the baby. It would be to remove the baby from the mother, and do everything possible to save the mother's life. So it wouldn't be, all right, what we need to do is kill the baby and then address the mom. It would be get the baby out, heal the mom, or do all life-saving support, all life-saving care that you can, and then also at the same time do everything you can to save the child. Now, if the child dies in the process, you're not intentionally killing it. You are trying to save it while saving the mother. So if the child dies, that's a tragedy, that's sad, but you're not intentionally killing it in order to save the mom. You're removing it in the efforts to save both, if that makes sense. Does that make sense to anybody? Am I making sense there? From what I'm aware of, that is like the more rational argument. So you don't have to just go in, kill the baby. It is get the baby out of there, save the mother, all at the same time. So like pull baby out while providing care to the mother, try to save the child if possible, but primary focus is the life of the mother. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully I'm not sounding dumb. I might be. I don't know. We'll see.
Every single year that don't involve rape, incest, or life of the mother.
Yeah,
1.5
Oh, just
million.
say it.
Yes,
But let's
just say
let's
the
just
R word.
ask you a very simple
grief.
question. When does human life begin?
When does human life, in my personal opinion, is going to start around the second trimester, a little more farther along. But let's get to this. Most individuals that are having abortions are going to be mothers that cannot afford it. They usually have already 2 to 3 kids and a lot of time.
So
Can we also talk about how aggressive she's being? I mean, I know it says rainbow-clad trans activist won't stop yelling. Like, she really is just going in, right? Like, just hardcore going in. It's wildly aggressive, in my opinion. And I mean, he's answering confidently and sternly, but I don't feel like he's like actually he's not returning the energy. You know what I mean?
So it's acceptable to be able to murder your young if all of a sudden you don't have the money to support them. That you can murder your offspring if you're poor.
So in the first couple weeks, even though it's still not fully developed, doesn't even have a heartbeat, doesn't even have brain
Development
activity.
does not equal dignity. A human being is a human being regardless of the process of development that it is in. Period. And so
Real quick, can we look at the audience? You know how so many arguments are men should not be telling women what to do with their bodies? I don't know how many people, I don't know what the age is of people that are watching right now, but have you heard the argument that men shouldn't tell women what to do with their bodies? Look at the audience, listen to the clapping, and listen to the cheering. I mean, it's not the men that are saying this. I mean, Charlie obviously made the point, but look at the agreement. And yes, I understand it's his event. He has his supporters, all that. I understand all that. Like, I'm not blind to that. I'm not ignorant to that. I totally get it.
who's trying to take rights away? I actually want more human beings to
Then
be
why
born.
are you affecting LGBT?
Well, hold on. We're talking. Let me finish on abortion. I want more human lives, which, by the way, hilariously, would be more women would be born, because the right to life is paramount. You're trying to take rights away because you're okay with the massacring of little humans. Back to LGBT.
It's been going throughout history, though. Abortion has been a big thing for a long time, and it affects people, and it hurts people.
So has murder and slavery and child sacrifice.
That is completely different.
No, it is murder. Okay, so let me ask you a question then. Define what is murder.
What is murder? Are you going to be talking about first-degree murder, like homicide, like going and
Sure.
having the intent to kill? Having the intent to kill somebody, but I'm
hold on.
just saying
So
a
a
clump
human
of
being,
cells
right?
is yeah, but a clump of cells
Well,
is different.
hold on, time out. If it's a clump of cells, what species is it?
What species is
Yes.
it?
What species?
It depends.
No,
Whatever's going to be pregnant, whatever you're
No,
trying
species.
to abort.
Is it a Homo sapien, a crocodile, or a raccoon? Which one is it? What
We're Homo
species is it?
sapiens in
Oh,
this
wait,
sense,
so
I'm
if it's a
hoping.
human clump of cells, then it's a human life deserving of human rights. And the first right is life. And so you could call it a clump of cells, which is dehumanizing language, but I'll go back to this. Ironically, you're the one that is actually intruding on human rights. We're the one protecting human rights.
But you're
which
trying
again,
to get rid of the option so people can have rights to their own body.
hold
If
on,
someone does
time
not want to
out.
have a child, they should not be forced to.
If the-
Oh, wait. If we're going to be doing this, then what are you going to do about the children in the systems that have been being assaulted, that are being hurted? Put more money into the system so people can actually get adopted, or actually other things like that.
Okay, again, none of that is relevant.
No,
to
because
the,
you want more
no,
babies to be born. What about people that can't afford
Again,
them?
how
They have
many-
to go into systems.
Okay, so this this is a good argument if you don't care about killing babies. Does that make sense? Like, if you don't care that it's a human life that's being terminated, this is a great argument. Like, if everybody could be born into a rich household with no issues, no drama, like, that'd be great, right? Like, I feel like that'd be great. But if the option is kill everybody that's not, like, if you've seen the movie like Idiocracy, like, it feels like that's like the argument that she's making. And what I'm saying by that comment is the people who were really smart and were really focused on their careers never ended up having children because they were just so focused. It was never the right time. It's not the right time. I'm getting a promotion. It's not the right time. I'm solving the world's problem. It's not the right time. It's not the right time. All the other while you have like trailer trash having 5 to 10 kids per household, not able to provide for their kids at all. Like, it's like she's making that argument. So you should have aborted all of the children that were growing up in like trailer parks. I know her argument is about like foster care and the way that the government handles the funding for foster care and there's abusive situations and stuff like that. I understand what she's saying, but I'm just saying, like, on a broader scale, in relating it to a movie, Idiocracy is like I think a perfect example of that. Like, if we were waiting for the perfect situation, no children would ever be born. Like, I don't know.
How many people are on the adoption waiting list?
Yeah, well, I know how many kids actually get adopted.
2
How many
million
kids
people-
that go
2
into
million
systems
people
or are being
are on the
fostered, that
adoption
get
waiting
assaulted,
list.
that get hurt? Are you going to be helping those
Two-
children that get
well,
f***ed over by
okay.
this system?
So there are 2 million people on the adoption waiting list. There are 1 million abortions every year. There are
Okay.
twice as many people that want to adopt than discarded children every single year. Now, I have to go back to a fundamental question, though,
Okay.
which I think is very important. Human development objectively begins at conception. You say it's around 2 trimesters. Can we agree that every human being, once your DNA is formed, you should have the right to life, the right to live the life the way you want to live it? Can we agree on that?
How many weeks are we saying?
No, I say again. Once we
So,
can
like,
acknowledge.
once the sperm is inside the egg?
Correct. Yeah. 'cause-
No.
Well,
Once the sperm
okay.
is inside the egg in the first, like, couple of days? No.
Well, okay, but let's go through that. Isn't that when your DNA was formed?
Yeah.
But then, aren't you fundamentally at its core? You are the DNA is your blueprint for your life. That's who you are. It's a unique marker.
It's my DNA, yeah.
Yes. So if it's not your DNA, why is it your choice?
Why is it my choice?
Yes. If it's not your DNA, why do you have a choice to eliminate it? I don't
It's
have.
up to the individual that is having them inside of it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
their
So-
body. I don't care.
So this is the argument, though, because she doesn't see it as being a baby. Like, this is where the whole like moral issue like comes into play. She doesn't see it as a human life. She doesn't believe that it's a human life. We don't know why he can't. He's trying to like pin her down to try to figure out what she believes a human life is or where human life begins. But he's making the point, and it's making sense to her on both levels, but I don't know if she's just failing to like acknowledge that he's right, or that she could possibly be wrong in this scenario, or she's just so steadfast in her, I don't want to say ideology, because this is just a solo thing. This is just a solo belief, but like she's just stuck in that realm of it's not a baby yet. And then when she confirms, well, actually, okay, yeah, it is human life at conception, which she basically did grant because she said it is its own DNA. It's its own individual DNA. So therefore it would be a human life at that point. It would be the beginning of a human life. She then goes back, she pivots off of that and goes back to, well, what about the woman's choice to live her life? And it's like, we're no longer talking about the mom's life anymore, because now we have two lives in the conversation. So you can't just, I don't want to say this to offend anybody, but you can't just be selfish and say, what about the mom if there's another person around? But also parenthood is all about not being selfish. Like, it's not about you anymore, but maybe that's a different discussion.
If it is like a few weeks, because that is not a human
Got
being
it. So
life yet. Because
outside of rape,
that individual cannot survive without the mother or who is ever pregnant. Therefore,
again, so let's get down to this, because I think it's very important and a good way to end this question.
And look at his demeanor this whole time. This lady has been screaming at him nonstop for what we know of 9 minutes. Okay. And he is still like listening to what she's saying. Okay. All right. And then from there, okay. All right. And how about this? And what about happens with this? You know, and his demeanor hasn't changed. He's still crossing his legs like he's comfortable. He's relaxed. It's so interesting. And if you guys weren't here in the beginning, maybe you were, but this whole thing I'm going through right now, we're not just like reacting to a Charlie Kirk video as to like, why was he the GOAT? Like, I have more to it than that after this video. So,
which is outside of rape, how did the woman get pregnant?
Outside of rape, so we're not going to be talking about incest or other individuals like that, because incest is not only just rape or other situations.
How about if I say?
Let's talk about how eggs that get mixed up in clinics.
How about if I say I'm okay with abortion for rape, incest, and life of the mother? Let's make it illegal in the other circumstances. Would you agree?
How are we going to be able to term that all the time, though? Because what if it wasn't consensual? What if the individual was drunk, but they're married? Let's say they're married and they got raped.
You can get a rape. Again, you keep on interrupting me, but you can report rape as a crime. You can also do a blood test to find out if it's incest. But 99.9% of all abortions are not rape and not incest and not life of the mother. How did that woman get pregnant in those situations? Did she just walk through campus and it just appeared and all of a sudden a baby is in her uterus? Or did she do something to decide to potentially have a child?
Sex. But also contraceptives sometimes don't always work.
Got it. So, but hold on a second. Shouldn't you take responsibility for your orgasms?
I don't think most men can make me come. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, okay. Well, again, outside of that statement,
I don't know how vulgar these videos are going to be or whatever, but
I'm not even sure how to take that, to be honest.
You brought up
That's me
orgasms.
too. That's me
Okay. Shouldn't you take responsibility for the sex that you have?
I mean, if I was wanting to have a child and my contraceptives, I didn't use any contraceptives, and I wanted to get pregnant, sure, I'm taking responsibility for that life because I wanted that life.
That's not his point. She's totally missing his point. His point is, if you don't want to get pregnant, don't have sex. That's his point.
But let's say I was having sex and my contraceptives didn't work and I got the chance of getting pregnant. I am not having that child.
So but you still decided to have sex.
Yeah.
And again, our opinion, when you
So,
go and
okay.
decide, having sex is not something you need to survive. It's not like showering or eating or shelter. You can live without having sex. You can have a little bit of self-control. If you decide to go have sex, you should understand you play certain games, you win certain prizes, which might be another human life. And it is the
I don't
most...
want to
F around and find out is what
Hold
he's
on a
saying.
second. Then don't go have sex.
No.
Oh, so you understand how narcissistic that is, that I want to keep on having fun, and if I have a human being and oopsie daisy, I'm going to eliminate that other human being because I don't want to have the human being, but I want to keep on having free sex. How is that not the most narcissistic worldview that one can possibly espouse?
Is narcissistic that I want to have sex with another consenting individual just because I don't want to have children? I feel like a lot of people in the world have sex. I think a lot of people make money
It's that
off
you
of
would murder
having
the
sex,
child.
and they don't want to have children.
That's what he's
I
saying.
feel like it is something that everybody do. A lot of people have sex just for pleasure.
Just because a lot of people do it does not make it right, number one. Number two, again, fundamentally, your view is I'm going to do whatever I want to do, and
I have a question.
if it creates another human being, so be it. Sure.
Do you have sex just to have a baby every single time then? Or are you
Well,
doing it for pleasure?
I am married and we have two kids, so
yeah,
we're pretty
but
good at
are
it.
you
so,
having?
like,
I'm assuming that you have had sex more than
2 for
twice
2.
in your life,
again,
not
I'm
just
not
to
gonna
have
like
the babies.
give you an inside look into my sex life, but
You're doing it for pleasure, not just to have kids.
Well, again, we actually always do it with God's trust that if we get kids, it's a blessing, okay? And we do it in the marital context. Again,
You also are in a position where you can afford that.
It's so crazy. This is the thing that gets me, and I already said it once, but the women in the background, it's always been told that men keep your hands off women's bodies when it comes to abortion. And it's crazy to me at these turning point events on these college campuses, how many women are there directly behind the women who are coming up making these statements, and they are on Charlie's side for it. It's anytime that I've had a personal conversation with a woman about abortion, which I know you're not supposed to because you're going to get in trouble. I don't care. I'm just interested in the thought process. And so I like to ask questions about it, but it's just so interesting to me, the number of women who are, we'll say pro-life, because anti-abortion, I'll say anti-abortion, women that are anti-abortion because it has a negative connotation, because I was told that the language is wrong if you say pro-life versus pro-abortion. So I will say anti-abortion and pro-choice. That way it sounds more moderate, I guess. But it's just so interesting to me, the number of women that are anti-abortion, and then the women on the other side of the coin that are pro-choice. It's just, I don't even know if it's equal, honestly. I guess not in my circle. It's not equal, not even close. But so I've always just been interested in having these conversations, and it's always like, well, you can't talk to me about this because you're a man. It's like, okay, well, I don't know if my wife is going to talk to you about this, but I would just like to hear your opinion on it, you know?
Have children.
Sidebar.
You are in a position
again,
where you
so
are not the lower class.
How about this? How about we have the maturity and the sophistication? Again, you keep on using words children and baby. Let me ask you a question. When someone is celebrating a pregnancy, do they call it a clump of cell shower or a baby shower?
That's also when it's.
Rowan, what do you mean by that? Are you saying like people who are pro-choice, it's like their religion, and so like you can't sway their opinion, and then the people who are anti-abortion, it's like their religion, like it's their pillar that their hill that they'll die on, like that kind of a thing? Or what do you mean? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, but it's still worth asking, you know? That's why I like the conversation, because I want to understand where they're coming from. But the problem is, and maybe this is like a kind of like a religious, also, like you can say religious, because I think it could be true, because he's making the point and she's acknowledging the point that it is a human life, right? and then she just pivots and ignores it after that. Like she swings it and ignores it. So there's not really a logical connection there between it is a human life. I can murder it whenever I want. You should be able to murder it whenever you want, as long as it's not past a certain time. And it's the mother's body. Like, it's just such a weird, you can't connect the two. So even if she says, yes, it's a human life, you can't connect it to a mother's, and you can't even say mother, actually, because woman's choice. It's the woman's body. Because if she doesn't want to be a mother, then I guess that's her choice, right?
Already been past those weeks?
Oh, so it magically gets pixie dust. You're a human being now.
No, because it develops.
Oh, exactly, because it's all around the spectrum of human development, and human development starts at conception.
Yeah, is it going to be completely developed at the first week? No. So
You're not completely developed right now. A lot of people aren't completely developed. I mean,
you're never going to be completely developed.
It's like you are not completely developed at age 30 or 40. The spectrum of human development keeps on going when you go deep and deep into your life. The question is the most important question. When does that journey begin? Journey begin. Like, when did your process of development begin?
My process of development?
Yes. Yeah. At conception. Every person in this audience, your life started at conception. And your own DNA, from your eye color to your hair color to your height, from your likes and your dislikes, whether you're an introvert, you're an extrovert, all of that was coded into your deoxyribonucleic acid at the moment that you were a zygote.
DNA.
And so that human deserves constitutional and human rights. And again, you came up here with the accusation saying, I am here taking away people's rights.
You are.
Again, so
you are affecting LGBT rights
right,
and
so
abortion rights. You are affecting individuals that can't always speak for themselves.
Got it. So again, I think
that's a wild argument that she's saying you're taking rights away from people who can't speak for themselves, when he's talking about unborn babies that literally can't speak for themselves. That's kind of wild. Okay, but so here's the whole point. This is the whole point. I wanted to watch that because I wanted to just see the interaction of Charlie Kirk and somebody who disagrees with him in the communication. Let me change his face here. That was crazy. So I wanted to see just the dialogue in his positioning in his chair, how he talks to people, how he controls his aggression, his anger, his emotions during the conversation. And now I want to switch it to someone else, and I don't know if anybody will be aware of who this person is, but his name is Andrew Wilson. Let's go with this one. This is, I don't know what this
anybody
okay. So this is Andrew Wilson over here. Okay. He is a Christian conservative, and he wants to make America into a Christian nation. Like, he wants the laws to be based around Christianity, and where Christians basically run the United States, completely. And I want you to see the way Christian nationalist. Thank you. Yes, Christian nationalist. I want you to see the way that he interacts with people versus the way, and I know that this is a different setting, but I want you to see the way that he interacts with people versus the way that Charlie Kirk interacts with people, okay?
Anybody can just identify as anything to become that thing. You say, no, they can't. But when I say, what's a woman? You say, anybody who identifies as a woman. I say, well, what distinguishes me from her? This. And then I say, okay, so what is a woman? Well, anybody who identifies as a woman. You're not pointing at anything. You have an empty label. It points to nothing.
I think because
listen. I want to explain this so that you know.
You've been explaining it.
It's a logical. It's actually logically fallacious. Mm-hmm. It's called an infinite regress fallacy. Mm-hmm. What you're doing is you're infinitely regressing So you're just always saying the same thing, but never pointing to anything. So if I were to tell you, or if I were to ask you, what's a guitar? And you said, anything I point to and say it's a guitar. Have you told me what a guitar is?
No. But I think most people, when you say guitar, they form an image of a guitar in their mind.
Yeah,
so
I
if
agree.
you just say, I mean, you know, hey,
I
if you want
totally
to play
agree.
a drum as a guitar, you can do that. But I think
I totally agree with
we're
this.
removing the human experience from all of this.
It's only the
because-
human experience which can identify what is a guitar. Who can make a
Right.
guitar besides a human?
Oh, I don't know.
Nobody. Nothing can make a guitar but a human, as far as we know. So if that's the case, when I say, what is a guitar? And you say anything I point to and say it's a guitar, you say, that tells me nothing. I agree. If I asked you this question, and just describe it for me,
Mm-hmm.
what is a guitar?
An instrument with strings.
What does it look like?
There's so many shapes of guitars.
Yeah, but what do they generally at least look like?
long stick, strings, and a bottom part. I don't even know what you call
So
that.
based on that, I can at least say that I can rule out everything without strings as an instrument as not being a guitar, right?
Sure. If
Now
you
we're getting
choose.
now we're getting to what a definition is, right?
Sure.
And that's the distinction between an empty label and a definition. When you say that's a guitar, at least I can point to what that is. When you say anything I point to is a guitar, that tells me fucking nothing about what a guitar
So
is.
are we so simple-minded in 2025 that
broad-minded.
if we don't have a distinct
Hang on.
description for a person, their sexuality, their preferences, if we can't define it, it's not right. If
Not
we
even-
can't define, oh, no, I listened to
yeah.
you for a long time.
Okay, go ahead.
If we can't define it, it's wrong. If we can't define it, it's confusing. If we can't define it, it's not scientific. There are a lot of things in science and biology and history and art that are undefinable. You cannot define a person. And honestly, just blatantly speaking, people like you do not have a seat at the table because it's not for you.
We're the only ones who have the seat at the
At
table.
that table is just for y'all. But I would think that I know that the people who are on the rainbow spectrum, we don't care.
Yeah, but the
but
thing
y'all
is
do, and it's interesting because I feel all I hear behind it to me is we don't understand y'all, so we feel threatened.
No,
by
no,
it.
what's-
Why? What are
well,
you
what's so
threatened by?
interesting is, like,
Does my fake
it sounds-
penis really
Yeah.
do
But
something
it
that
sounds
big to
me
the
like you're
male
saying
ego? Does
it
my
sounds to
strap
me
really
like
do that?
You do understand.
I guess it does.
You do understand us.
Wow.
It sounds to me like you're saying you do understand us, and we feel threatened by that.
No.
So, well,
I
it has
feel
to.
like
It
you
has to
have
be the
to
case. It has to be the
define
case.
us. Why do you have to define us?
Well, here's the thing. It has to be the case.
Does it?
Yeah, logic. You can't beat logic.
You can't put logic to love and human experience.
Right, you can't
though.
put logic.
It's unquantifiable.
Right, logic is the one thing you can't ever refute.
Is love logical? Have you
Yes.
experienced love?
Actually,
logic?
love is logical. Yes.
Or is it emotion? It can be. And
No,
when
it's
it
not.
gets
It can
to
be.
that
It
point,
You
is
might be, Rod.
logical.
No, we just ran
It
the
is
experiment.
logical.
No. We just ran the experiment in front of
Okay.
everyone here.
Yeah.
Based on swipes.
Yeah.
There's no logic in a swipe. You get a 5-6 second. Oh, I like that. I don't like that. I like what I see.
So watch Andrew. Andrew, he has a smugness about him. Like he has like an arrogance and a smugness to him. And it concerns me, like, to say the least. The way that he like eye rolls, swears, like will do like petty childish things. Like he's just, he rubs me the wrong way. I think he has decent arguments at times, but like the way that he interacts with the people that he is debating is so like anti-genuine. He is there to steamroll you into submission to where you say, okay, fine, you win. And that is that's a kind of debate, right? Like that's a debate you could have. But if you're talking to people about something that's not like, I don't know, physics, like, and you have like a theory, you have like a string theory of dimension, like argument and you think you've got the answer and then the other person's like, no, I've got the answer, and then you guys clash it out and have like a crazy debate about it, and it's passionate, whatever, you guys can kind of have that kind of debate, and I think it'd be acceptable. But when you're talking about like society and like human emotion has to have some sort of a take. Yeah, blood sports. Yeah. And that's what he says too, is that he's a blood sport debater, or he's a, I can't remember the word he used or what he uses, but cutthroat debater or blood sport debater. I can't remember. But he's not approaching people in the same way that Charlie Kirk did. Like Charlie Kirk debated people with just a genuine curiosity and interest, where this guy is all about the win. Like he's got to have the win. You're going like, and that's why she was like, I've been listening to you for a long time. Right. Like, cause he had to make his point for about 5 minutes about a guitar because he wanted to get his point across. And then as soon as she started to say something, he went right back in on her. Let's keep listening and see. I don't know exactly where this goes, but let's just keep listening to it and see where this actually ends up.
I don't like what I see. And
Well,
then you get into the deeper
Hang on, let me
parts
respond.
of
Let me
that
respond.
person.
Let me respond. Actually, there is. Not only is there a logic to it, but the whole reason we're having the discussion is about the logic of it.
Of
Just because
dating?
if you say, well, what happens, Andrew, is that there's an influx of emotion which, based on these emotions, humans have interactive experiences where they swipe left, swipe right, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's within the compliance of logic. There's absolutely nothing illogical about that. Saying I have emotions, therefore I act on emotions, logically follows. There is nothing illogical about that. There is, however, something highly illogical about giving an empty label to a definition of a thing you're trying to describe. That's completely illogical.
I don't think the label can't. I mean,
It's
I don't
not
know
a
the
label.
history of
We're
it.
not talking about labels. We're talking about defining a thing so that it can be even understood.
At the end of the day, I don't care what the person, who the person I'm interacting with, whatever their label or definition for themselves is, that's great for them.
So would it
That's
be fair to say you don't care about logic?
I don't care about descriptors and
Which would be
definitions of
logic. So
humans.
can you even have logical interactions without descriptors?
Heck yeah.
How?
And if you can't, then that
Is there a
leaves lot
single
to be
thing
said
that you
for
can logically express without a descriptor? All words are descriptors.
Yeah.
All,
Feelings are
aren't all
descriptors,
words
too.
descriptors? Yeah, but how do you describe feelings?
With words.
Yeah, exactly. So all words are descriptors. When you say feelings, you're describing
I don't
something.
I think our disconnect is I'm not disagreeing with you as far as there are labels, there are
I'm
definitions.
not talking about labels.
There are words to describe people, there are scientific terms and things to describe genitalia. None of that's false. 1,000% with you. I think my personal standpoint on that is none of that matters to those that it doesn't matter to, but to those that it does, that's great. Is there, if you want to quantify that information and use it in your dating experience, like by all means, but for me as a person, the first thing I'm asking or looking for when I swipe left or right or talk to a person is not, is your vagina surgical or biological? It just isn't.
But this doesn't answer the question. Like, how come I'm not black?
I don't know. You have to ask your mom that.
You don't know why I'm not black? You don't know?
No.
I just want you to look me in the eyes and say, I don't know why you're not
You
black.
also can't get like surgery to
I just want to make sure.
present as
hang on.
black either
Yeah, I
that
could.
I know of.
Yes, you
get
can.
surgery?
Yeah, yes,
African-American,
yes,
you
you
know? Can you do that?
can. And did Michael Jackson get surgery?
Yeah, he became white.
Cancer, I think.
Yeah, but did he get surgery also? Yes. And so the thing is like, if I could get surgery, that would make my skin look like your skin. Am I black?
That depends. Do I care? No. I mean,
That is my question about whether you.
Okay, this conversation kind of lost me, if I'm going to be honest with you. They're just basically just talking past each other at this point. Like, he's not going to make a point. She's not going to make a point. she's now I think what has happened is he has put her off of the conversation enough to where she has given in. And this is what I'm talking about. He has this effect on people where he digs down into definitions of things and then pushes you on it over and over and over again and becomes abrasive. He wasn't very abrasive here. I'm going to find some stuff later. If you guys have a video you guys want me to watch about this kind of stuff, let me know and we could pull it up. But he is such an abrasive person, even with his condescending attitude while talking to her. He's such an abrasive person that it shuts down the argument. They no longer want to have the conversation. I know people like this in real life. Like, there's no empathy in the conversation. And it's my way or the highway. If you don't see my point, I am going to drill my point into you to the point where I am now off-putting and I no longer want to talk to you. Like that. This is the worst kind of human interaction to me. Especially when you are talking about social issues, you're talking about things that offend people, things that, are sensitive subjects. You have to go in with some form of empathy and understanding and willingness to listen. And I don't think that Andrew Wilson has the ability to do that. I mean, he has spurts of it. Like he genuinely has he'll talk for a little while. Like he cares about what you're saying. He'll talk for a little bit and let you say your piece or whatever. And then once it's his turn, the condescending, mocking, belittling attitude comes out and it just shuts the conversation down. And that's the whole point of what I'm talking about tonight. Yes, this is a flathead screwdriver. It was just down here. I feel like fidgeting, but I don't want to make any noise. So this is what we've got. But that's my whole point for tonight is I don't know who the right person is. I don't think there is one currently, actually, like the right person to take a Charlie Kirk's place or the Charlie Kirk's place. All I know is that this guy ain't it. That's all I know. Rod, I'm good, brother. Are you okay? You all right, man? I'm just fidgety. And yeah, I don't want to shake my knee too much or something or anything like that. But yeah, so this is, he says that he is a Christian nationalist, which Rowan pointed out. Says that he is a Christian nationalist, but I don't see a lot of Christ when he debates people. So that's my biggest concern with Andrew. I think he makes good points, but I don't think he makes them from a place of love. I think he makes them from a place of power, and that scares me. Let me know your thoughts. Rod, if you weren't here, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's totally fine. But that's what I'm thinking. That's my thought process so far. And that's kind of what I wanted to cover tonight. And I'll pull up some other stuff too. Let me see. There were some things that I wanted to talk about too, because there was a lot of conversation about how Charlie Kirk was a racist. And I think that his conversation about DEI, he has a million of them, but let's go for, I'm going to look up Charlie Kirk. And the civil rights movement. because that was a big one, is that he hates the civil rights. Oh, I don't want that. I want actually his debate. Let's see here. There we go. It's a Turning Point. I only want to watch videos from Turning Point because that's where it came from. So that's what we're going to watch it from. So let me switch over the screen. So we are going to watch Charlie Kirk apparently shred the myth of systemic racism. Let's see what this is about, because he's a racist and he hates the civil rights movement. That's what we're told. So I would like to see what he has to say about it.
Beautiful man, I admire you. Hello. Oh.
Be respectful, guys. He can do what he wants.
Oh, can I start now? Oh. Nice to meet you, Charlie. I'm a big fan. I think you're a very beautiful man. I admire you physically. But, no homo. No homo. No homo. I did have a question. Something I don't find very interesting about you, something I find kind of repulsive, is that I believe you said that the Civil Rights Act was bad and that we shouldn't have that.
Okay, well...
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't like you as much as Charlie, though.
First of all, what's your name?
Sorry. I don't want to be, like, filmed and stuff.
Too late.
I'm anonymous, number one.
Too late.
Anonymous guy.
Okay. Well, hello. Nice to meet you, anonymous guy.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, too.
Yeah, I believe in part of the essence of the Civil Rights Act went way too far, way too wide.
Oh, how did it go too far?
Well, for example, it created an entire civil rights leviathan that gave us affirmative action.
Civil rights leviathan? What do you mean?
Yeah, so if you can let me finish three words in.
Sorry.
It allowed the Department of Justice to go after people that have different skin color, a.k.a. white people, and prevent them from getting jobs in college admissions.
You have a job.
I'm sorry?
You have a job.
No, you're right, I do. Right, but just until Trump came around, until the Supreme Court decision, thanks to the Civil Rights Act, if you have white skin color, it's much harder to get into a college than if someone has black skin color. Much harder. You have to get higher test scores. It's a much harder pool, largely thanks to the precedent set by the Civil Rights Act. Not to mention all the trans stuff that we're seeing. We're seeing men be able to win trophies and medals from women across the country, and they...
If anybody has stats about this stuff, drop them in the comments or links to where you can go to like look this stuff up, because he says a lot of stuff and I'm not a encyclopedia. So if you know where any of these stats are, drop them in the comments. I do, Rod. I do. I'm glad you're here, though. For sure.
Use the Civil Rights Act to justify it.
Okay, I think I see where you're coming from. So you think that it's harder for white people because black people they could have lower tech scores and get them?
It's not what I think. It's the fact.
That's what you're saying. Okay. All right. Well, I guess what I would say too. I think perhaps you're familiar with the term equity, right? Where different people have different circumstances.
It's
which
Marxism.
leads to different outcomes.
I reject
okay.
the framing of that.
Well, whether you reject it or not, I think it's a prescient concept in this argument. Because what you have to understand is that when for example, you're born in like a black neighborhood, you're born in like O Block or something, like a very, very, like a, oh, you don't know what O Block is? Oh, well, if you're born there, if you're born in a very poor area like that, with like very low economic opportunity, very, very poor schools or very low ratings, where the average test score is much lower, when you're in that environment, you have the whole system up against you, right? So when you say in that kind of circumstance, when you're facing the whole, I guess, leviathan of systemic racism, would you say that? Sorry, let me just finish it. When you say it's fair to, for example, lower the standard because knowing that their circumstances were like that, perhaps based on what they had, what was presented to them, they had the correct amount of merit to get into a school.
Okay, so are you a student here? I'm guessing you are.
Oh, yeah, I'm a student here.
Are you a pretty good student?
Oh, yeah, I would say I'm a good student. I have a pretty high GPA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you give your GPA to her because she's a woman of color, please?
Oh, well, you want me to give you a... Well, I mean, I can.
Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, sure.
You'd be good. You cool with that?
Yeah,
So,
I'm fine. Wait, you mean
I want you.
like tell her or like give it to her?
by force.
Like we're swapping it.
Let me tell you what I'm going to
Okay.
do. By force, white man.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to take your GPA. I'm going to give it to a woman of color.
Okay.
You're cool with that?
Am I only one? Rowan's gonna be here all night, bro. I think you're gonna keep asking if you're the only one, and Rowan's gonna keep saying no. So yeah, I don't know like all the stats and stuff that he always talks about. But like what the guy on the right has already said is that because they were less fortunate in life, they were given a harder hand of cards, that things should be lowered so that way they can get into places. This makes me think of like the military, and women and men's PT scores. Now, if you were in the military or in the Army, you have to take a physical test. You have to take a PT test, physical training test. And the perfect score is a 300. Okay. And I don't know what they are right now, but when I was in, you had to do 42 push-ups. I think it was 63 sit-ups, and run 2 miles in less than, I think it was like 13, 15 or something like that. And the women could do like 20 push-ups, like 30 sit-ups, 32 sit-ups, 35 sit-ups, something like that. And then their mile had to be like 16, something like that, I think. Rowan, you can maybe check it. But it was something like that. And they would get a perfect score. Okay, so the men would have to do X amount of work to get a perfect score. Women would have to do X amount of work to get a perfect score. They could each get the same score at the end, but the women would have to do dramatically less than the men. Okay? And it's because of their situation. You can say it's their physical situation. You could say it's because they're women, so they are less strong, so standards are reduced or lowered. But this is kind of the same argument. I mean, obviously he's talking about coming up in basically a war-torn neighborhood and having less advantage. You can't focus on school as much because you got so much else going on around you. You don't have enough money to put food on the table. Like, I understand his argument, but why would a college lower the bar of entry for people to get in and get a degree? I don't understand that. So in some places, a high school diploma is worth a 7th grade graduation. Okay? So if you were the smartest kid in that class or in that school and you graduated, top of your class, okay? And what you graduated with, because all the classes have been dumbed down for everybody else, you're at the top of your class. You're brilliant at your school, okay? Graduating with a 7th grade, 8th grade education, right? And then Harvard takes you in. What is that person going to face when they get to Harvard? They're going to get destroyed. They're not even going to know where the beginning of the beginning is, because their education cut off so low that their entry classes, their intro classes into Harvard are going to be inconceivable. They're not going to be able to comprehend what's going on there at all. And if they do, they're going to be so far behind. How are they going to be able to graduate or even catch up in learning? I mean, that is I know I'm saying Harvard, like that's like one of the Ivy League pinnacle schools to get to, one of the grandiose schools to go to. But like, think about it at any state university. If that's the level, I mean, you're going in at a disadvantage. So what he's saying is you should lower it so that way they can get in. Well, what happens once you get in there? You are going to fail. You are getting set up to fail. Okay, let's keep listening. See if he makes that point. Maybe I just cut Charlie off a little early there.
I mean, yeah, I can just work back up. Like, I mean,
No, there's no working
hey,
back
bro,
up.
I can pull myself up by my bootstraps.
No,
What do
there's
you
no
mean?
working back up.
What do you mean you
scoot-
can't
let me
work
scoot
back?
back.
Like,
No, there's no working
hey,
back
bro,
up.
Damn it.
I can pull
Hang on a
myself up by my.
I'm going to give it to a woman of color.
Okay.
You're cool with that?
I mean, yeah, I can just work back up. Like,
No, there's no working
hey,
back
bro,
up.
I can pull myself up by my bootstraps.
No,
What do
there's
you
no
mean?
working back up.
What do you mean you can't work back
you're
up? That's
only-
the whole point of conservatism,
no,
isn't it?
I'm gonna keep on taking
Oh,
it from you because that's
oh,
equity,
oh, yeah.
and you're cool with that.
What?
'Cause
But that's not
this is equity in practice.
Equity isn't taking. Equity is giving, applying the equal standard.
If you give, how do you get? You must take, and then you give.
Wait, what do you mean?
That which is given must first be taken.
Well, what's being taken?
Well, in this case, grades from you to grades
But
to her.
no one's taking my grades.
Spots
though.
in a
that's
college.
Not what affirmative
It's
action
called
is.
seats
Hold
at
on,
a
no
desk.
one takes your
Is
grades.
what he's
Hold on a
talking
second.
about.
If you only have so many, you only have so many positions at University of South Florida to come in.
Yeah.
Right? There's a set number. Let's say it's 20,000 people. Okay. And we're gonna say we're gonna lower the test standards so that somebody that's a woman of color can come in, and therefore it's harder for you. So it's a higher bar for you, lower bar for them. Definitionally, that's a redistribution of test scores to somebody else, just by the definition. And you're okay with that?
Well, I guess I would ask then, if we were to do what you're doing, I guess that's what's happening under Trump, right?
Well, no, it's actually been happening the last 40 years.
Okay, actually, yeah, whatever. Okay, so when you say that, if you do that, then, well, black people aren't going to get into school, and then they won't be able to uplift themselves. They won't be able to have prosperous families. They won't be able to, equalize the economic status because you need to give them a little jump start. You know what? You have a car, right?
How is that? How is that? Well, no, now I know who you are.
No.
But no, how is that?
The counter argument is that low income communities don't have the same access to quality education as upper class, and it's divided by race. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know the argument for sure. But you're still like, that's why I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that school choice is now a thing. And maybe that's not like the greatest like end all be all solution, but at least it's giving people in lower income neighborhoods an opportunity to take their kids to another school. Maybe I'm misunderstanding how that works. But I think that that's kind of what they were at least trying to do, is that you don't have to send, just because you live in the inner city doesn't mean you have to send your kids to an inner city school. You can move them out to another place. Charter schools. Yeah. And then the other argument is, yeah, like, well, now there's private schools. So how are the kids who are just in regular public schools, how are they going to get into private schools? They're less fortunate, and so they can't get into private schools. They're not getting the same education. So it's kind of like everybody wants to be equal, and it's just, we got to understand as humans, like, it's not, like, life is not equal. Everybody's life is different. Everybody's worst day is different than everybody else's worst day. Everybody's best day is different than everybody else's best day. Like, we got to get past that as a society, I think. Like, I had a life lesson to one of my kids, he's been through a lot, and I was like, this other person and their worst day, like, think about your day. Think about the worst day of your life. I don't mean to like bring down the channel or anything, but like, think about your worst day you've ever had. Ever. Worst day. Okay. Got it? Okay. Now think about, if you can, if we knew everything going on in people's lives, think about like Ivanka Trump's worst day of her life. Whose day is going to be remarkably worse? Whose life is going to be devastated remarkably worse? It's actually a trick question because you both are. Your worst day is your worst day. Somebody else's worst day is somebody else's worst day. You can only know the pain in your life that you've felt. And the worst pain that you have ever felt is the worst pain that you have ever felt. Your 10 for your pain scale is different from somebody else's 10 on their pain scale, because maybe you have felt something worse than somebody else. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Is that making sense to anybody? Like, we can't keep thinking that everyone's lives are the same. I don't even know how you would even try to approach that. Like, that is some like way in the future when everybody's plugged into a computer, that's the only way that's going to happen. And even then it probably won't happen unless it's just we're running computer programs through it. Never mind. Never mind. We're getting way off topic here.
That worked the last 40 years. We've had robust affirmative action.
No.
We've had hiring practices. Has it made Black America more successful?
I can answer that easily. It's because sorry. It's because sorry. What am I going for? Oh,
I don't
sorry.
know.
And he says, I
funny
don't
guy.
know. But also, this is the thing about Charlie. Look at him. He's not being a dick. He's having a good conversation with somebody. You know, he's not being aggressive. He's not being like such an over-the-top jerk. You know, like he's having a casual, interesting conversation with this guy. He's just hearing him out, making a little joke here and there, but not like a dick. He's not being a dickhead. That is the number one thing that I'm focusing on tonight.
So what happened is, even after the Civil Rights Act, you know what I believe the term is massive resistance. It was a movement in after the Brown versus Board of Education in Virginia, where essentially the legislature, which was still white supremacist, which is still extremely racist, they decided that no, we're going to do everything that feasibly possible within our means to stop black people from going to white schools. You even see this in I believe it was the Little Rock Nine, right? Even after it was legalized at the state level, white supremacist mobs still mobilized to prevent it. So even if it de facto it's gone, de jure it still exists.
Let me ask you a very simple question.
Yeah.
A term you keep on throwing around.
Got you.
What is racism?
What is racism? Ooh, that's a very complicated question. But
No, it's not.
I mean, there's a simple answer, and then there's the highly theoretical answer.
Give me the simple.
The simple answer will essentially be because we have like different skin colors, that he's treated a different way than me. He has like a different upbringing than me.
No. But what is
He's subjected to
racism in practice?
It's discrimination.
Based on the color of
Based
skin.
on the color of the skin. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. So isn't it racist then to penalize white people to come into college or to get jobs based on the color of their skin?
Well, no.
Wouldn't that be racist? So you're arguing for a very racist policy, which is that we should actively discriminate against people based on the color of their skin, which is affirmative action in DEI in practice.
I just disagree with the premise that you can do like anti-white racism because
Wait, can you be racist against white people?
No, bro, I'm a cracker, bro. What the No, you can't be racist towards white. Bro, there's so many crackers here, bro. There's your clip, bro. There's your clip.
That's why you hide your face,
You
somebody
gonna do
said.
political violence to me, bro? Like, why are you saying that to me? You're making me scared. Okay.
So let me tell you
yeah.
what we believe, because you tell us what you believe.
Okay.
Your worldview is indistinguishable from the KKK. That you want to organize the world based on skin color. We want to organize the world based on merit and character, based on how hard you work, what you bring to the table. I believe it's destructive and wrong to say that people are going to be organized or have their future set based on the color of their skin. I think it's tribalistic. I think it is divisive, and I think it hurts the excellence of a country. You asked a question, well, how are we going to help other communities? You know how you help other communities? Stop pandering to them and start treating them like individuals made in the image of God, not tribes to be.
Preach. Preach, Charlie. Come on, man. Preach. That's so true. Each person has to be dealt with on a case-by-case basis. And that was my whole point of that whole rant 2 minutes ago. You have to treat people individually. Everyone has their own life experience. Everyone has their own quality. Everyone has their own value. Everyone has their own thing that they're good at. Like, you can't just say, oh, here's a good argument. All black people are from the ghetto and therefore they're not good at school and therefore you have to put them into college because they're less fortunate. It's like, bro, that is the most racist thing I have ever heard. What are you talking about? Like, you can't do that. Like, how can you not see that people have value? Just in people, just as a person. Go up, shake somebody's hand. What's going on, bro? How's your day? Doesn't matter who they are. Doesn't matter what color their skin is. Just go up to them. What's up, bro? How's your day? You doing all right? And I mean, if it's a genuine what's up, you might actually get a real answer. you might actually get a real friendship. But don't seek out somebody and be like, oh, I have black friends, bro. I'm not racist, so I've got black friends. That's the stupidest. It's just so interesting to me that people can make statements like, well, black people come from broken neighborhoods, therefore. Not all of them. White people come from broken neighborhoods too. Not all of them. I mean, what are we talking about? It's just so, in this argument is so interesting to me because I really don't see color when I talk to people, like, at all. Obviously I see their skin color, but I don't treat them a type of way based on their skin color. And so when I hear people talk like this, it is just so absurd to me. And maybe I'm ignorant to something that I'm not aware of, but like, it's just so funny to me when people talk like this.
Be organized for political purposes.
Okay, so do you think like when Trump is now he's president, now that racism is gone now because Trump is back and we're no longer pandering, right? Do you think that the conditions of black people do you think O Block is going to become like a much nicer place? Do you think that these very downturned sort of black neighborhoods that have been sort of left behind, do you think they're going to become revitalized now? Is that what you think is going to happen?
Yeah, they'll do better for sure.
You think they're going to do better? Now that we've stopped helping them, they're
This guy who has his face covered does not believe that black people are capable of helping themselves. Am I the only one that can see that? He legitimately doesn't think that people from O Block are capable of helping themselves. He needs to be the white savior to go to O Block and pull them up out of poverty. He's white Jesus. Does anybody else see that? Or is that just me? Am I reading too far? Is that the wrong angle? Am I taking the wrong angle on this guy? Am I being too overly critical of this guy? Like that, I don't know how that's not just... Let's go back. Guys, let's go back. Let's hear it one more time, and maybe I missed something. Maybe I heard it wrong. Let me just try to hear this one more time. We'll go back 1 minute. We'll go back just 7 minutes, okay?
Merit and character based on how hard you work, what you bring to the table. I believe it's destructive and wrong to say that people are going to be organized or have their future set based on the color of their skin. I think it's tribalistic.
Okay, so Charlie just said it, actually. He just said exactly what I mean, he obviously said it better because I'm an idiot, but listen to what Charlie just said here. He just said pretty much what I just said.
Merit and character based on how hard you work,
After this.
what you bring to the table. I believe it's destructive and wrong to say that people are going to be organized or have their future set based on the color of their skin.
Is that not what this other guy just said? All right, I'm sorry I keep stopping it. It's just very frustrating to me because it's like, how do you said it to him and now he's going to say it back to you and not understand that he just said it back to you and that's actually your position.
I think it's tribalistic. I think it is divisive, and I think it hurts the excellence of a country. You asked a question, well, how are we going to help other communities? You know how you help other communities? Stop pandering to them and start treating them like individuals made in the image of God, not tribes to be organized for political purposes.
Okay, so do you think like when Trump is now he's president, now that racism is gone now because Trump is back and we're no longer pandering, right? Do you think that the conditions of black people do you think O Block is going to become like a much nicer place? Do you think that these very downturned sort of black neighborhoods that have been sort of left behind, do you think they're going to become revitalized now? Is that what you think is going to happen?
Yeah, they'll do better for sure.
You think they're going to do better?
Look at how he laughs. Look at how he laughs. Black people have no hope if Democrats aren't fixing their neighborhoods. That is such a crazy. I can't imagine thinking like that. I understand that subsidies, helping people out who are impoverished, people need stuff. I get all that. I understand people have low points in their life and they need things. Like, I totally understand that. But like, just to laugh and say like an entire group of people are going to fail now it's wild to me. Like, it's just wild to me. I don't understand it. And that's like a fog. I think I might have a fog or a veil over my eyes, so I can't understand that. But like, to me, that is so, I don't know. It's so, I can't comprehend it. I can't understand it.
Now that we've stopped helping them, they're gonna do better.
Well, see, that's an interesting thing.
Because that seems like contradictory to me, just on basic logic.
Well, actually, black Americans under Donald Trump in the first term saw the greatest economic renaissance that they saw since the 1950s.
You don't think
highest
that's due to
wage
Obama,
increases, lowest unemployment, revitalization, amazing investment in their communities, opportunity zones.
But that's when we had affirmative action. So wouldn't that be bad?
Well, again, we actually got rid of affirmative action now.
But
It's going to do
that
even
was
better.
now, but I'm talking about before.
Those are unrelated things, though, just to be
You think
perfectly clear.
they don't seem unrelated to me?
Well,
They're both
affirmative action
policies
is...
addressing racism. They seem
Affirmative
completely
action
related.
is, again...
So I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you are. That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Affirmative action is largely federal government hiring practices and the adjacent institutions. I think that all communities will do even better when we stop living under the soft bigotry of low expectations. Inherent in your argument is that we have to pander to certain communities based on the color of their skin because they can't do as well as white people. I reject the premise.
Yeah,
I think that we
I do
should try
too.
to say, I don't care about the color of your skin. I care about what you bring to the table. And stop
Exactly.
pandering to people based on special criteria, points, and acceptance to college, saying that we're going to make it easier for one group and harder for another group.
I don't think it's pandering, though. I
but-
think it's understanding.
Okay,
I think
but
it's
let me.
understanding
Do
the
you think
respective
that
circumstances
do-
and
do
working
you-
based on that?
Do you think that we should have black-only dormitories in America?
No, why would I want that?
Okay, well, there's hundreds of schools that have those actually.
What
And
do you
so-
mean black only? Like
Yeah.
they're not white people are not allowed in.
No,
at
white
all.
people are not allowed.
White
in.
people, yeah, that's why I said
Yeah,
white people
exactly.
are not allowed
Correct. We have black-only
Uh,
graduation ceremonies across the country.
Well,
This
those are
is-
from well, I believe those are most likely like HBCUs, right?
No,
like
the University of Michigan has
Michigan
one,
has an
Yale
all-black
has
dormitory?
one, Harvard has one. So we're agreeing that that is wrong. That is the furthest extension of hyper race obsession. So you could choose one or the other. You can be race obsessed or merit obsessed. We as conservatives decide to be
Merit,
merit
yeah.
obsessed, to build a country based on how hard you work and what you're able to deliver.
Again, what we're focusing on, I mean, great point. And like I said before, I don't understand how that guy on the right can think the way that he does, but I think it might be, I might be missing something, like my inability to at least relate or slightly understand where he's coming from. But Charlie Kirk's demeanor through that entire interview, calm, cool, collected, crack a joke here and there, not petty, silly, like not an offensive, nothing to make a dig at this guy. It was just humor to lighten the mood kind of a thing. Now, if you guys don't mind, let's go back and let's find another Andrew Wilson clip. I'm just doing a side-by-side comparison because I really think Andrew Wilson is going to try to make a push to be the next Charlie Kirk. And it terrifies me. It scares me. Okay. Andrew Wilson, Dave Smith. Okay, perfect. That's a beautiful. So I don't know if anybody knows Dave Smith, who Dave Smith is, but Dave Wilson. Dave Smith is a liberal. And he had a debate with Andrew Wilson, and Dave Smith is a pretty nice person, pretty nice guy from what it appears. I mean, if you disagree with him, he will surely tell you that he disagrees with you. But he went into this thinking they were going to have a good faith conversation. And brother,
If it's only action.
did it not? I mean, they did not have a good faith conversation. Libertarian. I am so sorry. You're 100% right. He's a libertarian, not a liberal. Holy cow. Anarcho-capitalist. That's right. I'm so sorry, Dave Smith. That was rude of me. Okay, let's see. I just pulled this one up. I just searched it up. I don't know what this is going to look like or where we're going to start. I've listened to this whole thing, so I'll skip around and try to see if maybe I can find something, but let me see.
Thematic and based on preference, it would be just as valid.
So how do you determine if anything is morally right or wrong?
If it's from a preference base, you couldn't.
Okay, so how do you determine that anything is morally right or wrong?
I do it from divine command. You do it from preference. I'm
no,
meeting you
you
where
do
you're
it from
at.
divine command. What does that mean? Explain that.
So this means that I follow Christian ethics. I use transcendental categories inside of philosophy to create justifications for the values which come from God's laws. That's what I do.
That's a lot of words to not say anything. How do you determine?
Do you know
if
what
something is right or
transcendental?
wrong?
Do you know what
Yeah,
transcendental
no.
categories
it's not that I
are?
don't understand the words.
It sounds like you don't
understand.
understand.
Okay, explain it to me like I'm really stupid. I don't understand any of the words. So explain it to me. How do you determine if something is right and wrong?
Okay, so what I would do to make these determinations is we start with objective versus subjective. Is it a subjective value or is it an objective value? If we start with it just being a subjective value, then who cares? We never need to go any further than that. Just never need to go any further for justification. So what I've determined is that your values here in libertarianism are subjective value based. Therefore, there's never a reason for me to justify anything objectively to you because any subjective preference I have
Andrew,
is just as valid.
You're not answering my question at
Literally,
all.
that's the most precise answer you could ever get.
Andrew,
If you're a
how do you determine if
I
something
just
is
told
right or wrong?
Andrew Wilson
Oh,
is
dang
a
it.
divine command theorist. That's where he.
I didn't want to watch a
divine
damn
command.
reaction video.
And then I
I just
asked
wanna
you
hear
what
them
that
get
means,
into it.
and you
And
said
I just
nothing.
explained-
No, you
Yeah,
didn't. You
I
just
did.
said that you think my basis is
Okay,
subjective.
fine, Dave. I'll make
So
it
what's
super
yours?
simple because God tells me so. Is that better for you?
Sure. No, if
Okay.
that's the answer. That's
the answer.
Okay,
God tells me
God
so.
tells you.
Yeah.
And through what means does God tell you this?
He directly communicates right into my brain. He's like, that shit's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So just to be clear.
So Andrew just got pinned down on a point. Okay. And he was trying to use a bunch of big words to explain the fact that his Christian morality, Christian values is what gives him his objective, not reality, but ethics. Okay. And he used a whole bunch of big words. And that's what Dave Smith was saying. He's like, just tell me what you really mean. And he said, well, God tells me to. And it's like, he got so pinned down that he had to say the thing that just doesn't, when you say it out loud, you can't really pin it to anything. Like it's just, you're saying air is talking to me and I believe it, like in a sense, you know what I mean? So he got pinned down, got frustrated, and then like got all kind of snotty about it. Right. Okay. So now Dave Smith, being the guy that he is, and I think, to be honest with you, I think this is like 30 minutes into I might be wrong, but I think this is like 30 minutes into the debate because Andrew is a jerk, like straight up to Dave Smith. Maybe we'll get to that. I don't know. But Dave Smith tries to have a good faith discussion where just two dudes discussing things, this is my point, that's my point. And Andrew is just a bull in a china shop, bro. Goes crazy and just we'll see if it shows up.
Here, the point of that is that, Andrew, it sounds very good when you attack someone and say that's subjective, but when your response to that is God communicates directly into my brain,
Exactly.
that also, I don't know what the word is for that.
Subjective.
But
it would be
subjective
subjective.
would probably be the word.
But that's my whole point. That's how I'm granting your entire argument. It's like it doesn't matter ultimately objectively.
But your counter is also subjective. So then
right.
we're
So
even.
then that means that my preference is no worse than your own preference.
Well, no, it means by your argument, we're even.
Yeah.
Not by my argument.
I'm using preference
By
based.
your Okay,
Yeah, if,
all right, all
if
right.
I'm using preference-based arguments, or I'm sorry, preference-based morality, and you're using preference-based morality,
Listen.
then
I don't-
we're equal, Dave.
To be clear, I don't think I am using preference-based morality.
Got it. So
But
can you
since-
make
hold on, all right,
justification then?
1 second. Let me try to finish the sentence here. I don't think I am making subjective-based morality, but you accused me of that. And so my response to you is, so what's your objective base? And your response is, God talks to me directly into my head.
Yeah, for the purpose of
Okay.
demonstration.
All right. By the
Yeah.
way, God also talks to me in my head. And so,
Perfect.
all right, fine. Like,
Yeah.
all right.
So if
By
God
your
talks,
own standard,
there you go.
You haven't won anything. By your own standard, we're even.
It's not here to win
By
it.
the way,
It's
I
here
wanna-
to
all right,
demonstrate
I
it,
want to
Dave.
try to let's try if we can, because we're only a few minutes into this. Let's try. This got more contentious than I thought it would in the first few minutes.
Yeah.
Let's try to
So this video actually skips. That's what I thought, because he had Dave Smith had to he was like, I'm going to leave this show. I'm not even going to continue doing this because this was not what it was supposed to be. So I don't know what this YouTube channel is that I'm watching it on. I don't know who he's okay. So Savage Andrew Wilson schooled Dave Smith. That is not what happened in this debate. Let me see if I can find the original, because that is not at all what actually happened. I don't think this is the actual discusses the late in culture on this episode. Part of the problem, Dave is joined by a host of. Okay, so no, that's not the debate. Not the debate. Who the hell originally? Andy Wilson demolishes Dave Smith. He did not. If you've seen this, he did not. It was so frustrating. I hate stuff like that. Yeah, blood sport. I want to say it was like an hour long, and that's what I'm looking for. These are so dumb. And I think that that's my problem with a lot of this is there's a lot of people on the right, and I'll just say it. There's a lot of people on the right who just want to be right. They want to be on the winning team. They want to be win at all cost. Win maybe not at all cost, whatever way necessary. And that doesn't sit well with me. Because I think you should be able to, like Charlie Kirk would do, you should be able to just have a debate of ideas, and whoever's idea is most logical at the end wins. Whoever makes the best points wins. That's it. And when you have somebody like Andrew Wilson going after Dave Smith, totally chill dude, very similar actually to Charlie Kirk. Less faith-based in his talking. He's more political, less religious talk. But very similar. We'll have the conversations. But damn, I mean, I would rather listen to Dave Smith and Andrew Wilson, 100%. No questions asked. Why can I not find this debate though? I wonder if I go in here, can I find the original?
Just, by the way, because I want to have.
Can I find the original debate here? Watch Dave Smith unintentionally. Fair use. But how do you not link the video if it's fair use? I don't understand. Let's just take this and see if maybe I can get a better hit with that. No, I guess is the answer. Damn. All right. Well, anyways, it gets stupid. In the first 3 or 4 minutes, he's just an absolute dick. And Dave Smith's a
So you're
comedian
taking this
and
to a weird
political.
extreme example where, okay, let's take it to the other extreme and say, do you believe that the government should rush into your house anytime you're doing anything where they determine that that's degenerate or not moral or productive? You're smoking a cigarette right now. Is that enough of a reason for someone to come get you? Like, would there be any realm where you would say, maybe the government shouldn't be regulating every inch of what I determine from divine, whatever that is moral or immoral?
Yeah, so actually this makes my point for me. This is great. So the reason that I just go ahead
Okay,
and
this isn't what I'm
concede a lot
looking
of
for.
these
I don't care
points
about this.
because there's no real reason to fight them. For instance, if you agree
Because they're already like
that you can have is that
they're already oh
it's
come
for
on.
anything.
They're already having a civil conversation. It I swear to God, you guys, it was like one of the worst things I've ever seen. It was absolutely awful. Maybe he'll talk about it. Oh, dang it. I went too far. Whoops.
The thing about him is that he's kind of like a gym bro. So it's not
Okay, that's not it. They're just chatting it up now. Because eventually they made up afterwards. I think he didn't know who Andrew Wilson was, and so he just went after him. But I'm going to take a quick potty break, and I will be back here in a little bit, all right? Oh, yeah, this is not this is not the right screen at all. All right. So I'm back. You guys give me something that you're interested in watching right now. This feels weird right now. What the hell is going on with my headphones? What's a who do you think? I would like to see what you think would be a good person to help Turning Point stay on track. Like, who would be a good person that you have seen, or is there somebody? Like I've kind of gone through mine. Like Vinny, this guy, stop it, would be a terrible replacement. Oh, you guys can't see it. Let me switch. So here, this guy.
Let me show you this. Persuade him to that clip.
Here. Watch.
I think that's the one right there.
These
one.
two men.
Okay. Chest and again.
Oh,
These
one.
Do you know who this guy is? This is Dr. Turek, I believe is his name. They're saying that he was like giving signals. He is a pastor and a like well-renowned author, and goes into college campuses and has conversations with people. Apparently him and Charlie Kirk had just done a podcast like earlier in the day, and he was out there just hanging out with them on this campus. And like he's taking no interviews right now. He's had no, like he posted the podcast on Apple Podcast or whatever the hell it's called. But apparently this is Dr. Turek, and they're saying that he was putting up like hand signals or whatever. But anyways, what I was saying is, okay, so PBD, a voice for the right? I don't think so. And my thought process is, when I saw him on the Joe Rogan Experience, when he was trying to have Joe endorse Trump, he was so forceful and couldn't read the room. Like it seemed like he was throwing his money around. Like, I've got a gift for you. I've got another gift for you. He was like trying to buy acceptance. And that gave me a weird vibe. Okay. So I don't think he is a suitable fit for like the leader of Turning Point. Or even like I don't want to say leader, because like really realistically, nobody's going to take Charlie's spot, but I'm just trying to find like a person on the right who could even come close to, where the hell is this guy, Vinny? I just want to watch this because he's a literal block of dynamite.
Tyler is, whatever his background is, and me and Mike were talking about this earlier. You have to understand this. Whatever this plan was, whatever this operation was, they had to know. Number one, Charlie was going to be there. They had to know the schedule, number one. Number two, you have to know where he was going to be. And that advantage point, shooting from high to low, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. That's the easiest way. So this kid, who I highly doubt, had all this information and all this tactical knowledge to find out, Adam, the timing, where, what time. This is a big campus. How'd you know they were going to be right there? Okay? And then this goes on the security. You're having this guy sit in the...
And he's a conspiracy theorist, obviously. But he's too abrasive, just like Andrew Wilson, but like even more than Andrew Wilson. This is stupid because if you listen to the guy who was actually being interviewed by Charlie Kirk when he was shot, he said he actually was like making TikToks and stuff about it, saying like, oh, he's going to be at my campus. I'm going to go talk to him there. And so he knew exactly, the guy who was talking to him knew exactly where it was going to be, what time it was going to be. Like they announced these things. And you have to think that they have signs up around campus saying where it's going to be held. Oh, it's going to be held in, I can't think of the name of what that would be. Grass area B in the courtyard B, like, those signs are up. They're going to tell you exactly where to be because they want people to show up there. So of course they're going to have it out weeks ahead of time. Oh my God, I can't believe Charlie Kirk is coming here. I can't believe Charlie Kirk is coming here. Like they're going to all have, what do you mean, bro? A vestibule? What the hell does that mean? A vestibule? Is that what you would call it? But anyways, he's just funny to listen to because you can't take him serious. I think he thinks that he's being taken serious, And so he just keeps coming with more and more passion. But Ray, you can't take this guy serious at all. If you watch him on like Piers Morgan, he's just an absolute joke. Yeah. So, Rowan, who do you think, or what should we check out here? Who do you think would be an interesting person to possibly step into Charlie Kirk's shoes? I know the shoes can't be filled, but like, just like somebody who could possibly be in there. You know what I mean? I can't come up with anybody. This guy, not a chance. I think he has decent ideas, but I don't think Tim Pool either. I don't think he is. Well, and let me explain like maybe my thought process here too. Charlie Kirk was religious, right? He was steering people back to God and back to conservatism, which he said, showing people where we get our laws and our rules from will direct people back to Jesus, because that's where our rules came from. You know, that's why we have 12 people on our Supreme Court in the Old Testament. You know, that's why we have capital punishment. You know, that's why we have, you can't steal, you can't murder, you know, you can't you can't grape people, you know. Adultery is wrong. We have all these rules in our society because of the Bible. And so Charlie Kirk's thought process was, if I can get the kids to see the rules, they can then discover where the rules originally came from, ergo Jesus. So very interesting thought. But Tim Pool doesn't really run that realm. He also considers himself a libertarian and to the right, like a right-leaning libertarian, I guess. But I believe he is pro-choice. So that really would not line up at all with Turning Point. I'm not knocking it down. I am knocking it down, but I'm not saying it wasn't a good suggestion. Maybe that's what I should say. But one thing I did find very interesting, maybe we should watch this. Hang on a second. So Tim Pool did a video just the other day about facts, and I found it super interesting. Let me see. I don't know if it's the Tim Pool. Maybe it might be Timcast IRL. It probably is, actually. Yeah, it is. Because this is the Culture War channel. Timcast IRL. Let's get through. I want to get to the actual videos, not the lives. So if we click here and we go to videos, damn, where was that? Was it this one?
Actors, High Pro April 1861.
He pulled up a chart for how they calculate mass shootings and political violence. And, oh no, this
the fears of threats to his safety. But this was a man.
That's not right. It was a video on how they're skewing the numbers on the like mass shootings and stuff, and how they're saying like all political deaths are from the right or from the right wing. I believe these are all. Yeah, these are all like him with somebody else. I'm looking for what the hell is his just news channel? Is it just Timcast? I feel like I should be better at this. Right, there we go. Here it is.
We have this post from X, a CNN video.
Let's watch this.
Where Rep. Seth Moulton blames the right. This is so inappropriate that we saw the other day the firing of Matthew Dowd when Charlie Kirk had been shot, and he said, well, awful that you say awful things happen. They fired him. Listen to this.
Let's be serious about where this violence is coming from. Of extremist violent attacks in America, extremist violent murders, 76% are from right-wing extremists, 4% are from left-wing extremists. I condemn that 4%.
76%.
But we also need to be honest about it as a nation about where this violence is coming from. And oh, by the way, it's probably an appropriate time to talk about guns, too. You hear a lot of conservatives saying, hey, the only thing we need to do here is get more guns on the street. That's not going to solve this problem. That's going to make it worse.
These people are evil. They're lying. This is not correct. This is fake news. And it's the dirty game they always play. They say to us, did you know the majority of mass shooters are white cisgender males? And then what do? Well, it's according to insert liberal NGO that determined that, and we claim it to be true. The left has a series of organizations, and I'm not going to name them. There's one that recently called Charlie Kirk a white supremacist and a problem. They claim to be experts, and they are cited as experts, so they can give these fake stats. When they tell you that mass shooters are all cisgender white males, you know what they do? They say, well, we don't count inner city violence. That's not what we mean. What they're really saying is we've excluded data intentionally so that we can lie to you for political power and blame white people and conservatives for this violence. Now, as for the statement made by Seth Moulton.
Now, we don't know. I don't know personally where CNN got their stats from. So Tim Pool is about to pull up some stats. And he's going to pull up a source talking about stats and gun violence. And maybe this is where CNN got their stats from. Maybe not. I don't know. But this is just such an interesting look into this that I think it's worth a watch.
What is the assessment he's making, and where does it come from? Did you know? Let me pull this up for you. This is I think this is what's the organization? I think it's ADL.
Gotta make sure my pup's wieners.
Let me show you. Let me show you how they lie to
to
you
lay wiener
by
out.
pulling up the Anti-Defamation League's heat map. Hate, extremism, anti-Semitism, and terrorism. And this is just one way they generate these fake numbers to blame the right for all the violence. So you see what they do? They say anti-Semitic incidents, anti-LGBTQ+, white supremacist events, extremist murders, terrorist plots and attacks, extremist/police shootouts. When you click ideology, take a look at what it says. Right wing, white supremacist. Islamist, right wing, anti-government. Left wing, right wing, other. So white supremacist, anti-government, which you know includes leftists, and other. What does that mean? What they have done is they have basically said Islamist, particular ideology, white supremacist, particular ideology, anti-government, does not know left or right. But my favorite is other. They've said, we've decided that anything that we don't like will be called right-wing. And then this guy goes on TV the day after the assassination of a political activist and personality who only sought to speak with people and challenge ideas and have his own ideas challenged. They cite numbers that come from these fake organizations so they can blame the right for all the violence. Are there people on the right who are violent? Indeed. It's bad. Should be condemned. Are there people on the left that are violent? Indeed, it's bad. It should be condemned. But the reality is this. Anti-government is not right-wing. That's a lie. But it allows them to put out numbers where they can say, look at all the right-wing violence.
Okay, I'm going to pause here quick because I can't remember if he does this or not. I want to see him click right wing other apply and see what happens to this map. Because in theory, it should eliminate all other groups, right? So only the right wing other should be illuminated. I want to see if he does it, because if he does it and it looks exactly the same, there's a huge problem. And if he doesn't do it and he just keeps talking like this, I don't think he made a point.
So when you get a leftist who says the government is bad, is at a left-wing protest, shoots or does whatever, the ADL can call it right wing. When you, and here's the funniest thing, they actually called a black supremacist left wing. And now I'm just going like, hold, guys, perhaps they should break this down into further categories and just say perhaps racial identitarian or separate all of this. But look what they do. You can see it right there. Right wing. So let me put it like this. If you are a neo-Nazi,
click it,
white supremacist, and the only thing that matters to you is that you hate other minorities, or you hate all the minorities, the ADL says that person and Dave Smith and Nick Fuentes and Charlie Kirk are the same political ideology, despite the fact none of them get along. Well, they get along, to be fair, but they argue with each other and disagree. These ideologies are not the same. They would argue that a Klan hood wearing guy who believes in government health care, you could take a Democrat.
You know what? I'm going to do it.
A racist old school.
ADL.org. Hopefully I don't have to I don't know. Hopefully I don't have to ADL.org. Resources. Heat map. Okay, can I look at it? Okay, here we go. All right, so this is the map. We're going to select ideology, right wing, other, apply. Okay, so what we see is the right-wing white supremacist movement has done a ton of anti-Semitic, looks like white supremacy events, extremist police shootouts, extremist murders. Looks like terrorist plots, I guess. Oh, Michigan, yeah. Duh. Who could have forgot that one? White supremacy events. Okay. Let's see. Left wing. Alabama. San Francisco. Oregon. Okay. Let's do right wing other again. Brother, this is a problem. This is a problem with the video that Tim Pool put up. We'll undo all the checks here. So we'll do white supremacist propaganda. That shouldn't matter. White supremacist events, that won't matter. Extremist murders we want to keep. Terrorist plots we want to keep. Extremist police shootouts and anti-LGBTQ events. Okay. So we'll do anti-government and right-wing. Apply. Okay. So we have a murder in New Jersey, it looks like. No. Pennsylvania. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 events in Florida, it looks like. 1 event in Tennessee, Oklahoma, Texas, California. What's his argument? Do you see what I mean here? Do you see what I'm doing? So his argument is that the stats are padded, but if you do right-wing other, nothing comes up. Unless I might be doing it wrong. I might be messing with the heat map wrong. What's up, Rod? How you doing, brother? But so he can say the thing, you know, he can say that it's, and maybe that's why he didn't click it, because he was going to prove a point and then realized he couldn't prove a point, so he just went with it anyways.
Cool Democrat who wants government subsidized health care, protectionism, and a percentage of worker controlled production, but he hates black people, they'll call him right wing.
I see, but a religious or a moral argument isn't politically based. Just waiting for me to do what, Rod? Rowan, what do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean, bro. Rod, are you the one blowing up my phone? Oh, yeah. Rowan, you're right. 9 members for the Supreme Court. I'm sorry. I was talking about the court of law. I'm sorry. By jury. Trial by jury is what I was trying to say. A jury of 12. And then the reason why we have the court system set up the way that it is, from the low courts all the way up to the Supreme Court, is because that's what Moses did to kind of ease his father-in-law suggested that he set up a layered court system to take the stress off, because you told me in the chat. I told you what in the chat? What are you talking about? I said I would play Warzone with you off stream, but it wasn't going to be tonight, Rod. I was saying I would message you in the chat when I get online to play Warzone, but it would probably be like maybe during the week for like an hour or something. That's what I was saying. Rowan, what I'm still confused about your religious or moral argument isn't political based. Are you talking about this incident map, or what do you, I'm not sure what you're talking about. All right.
You can take a guy,
see what he keeps saying,
who is pro-life, but in every other means lefty, and they'll call him right-wing. And then they have the nerve to go on TV and say it's all right-wing extremists. They're faking the data, they're covering it up. But if you actually track the real news like I do, what will you find? When was the last time the right rioted? We got the boys here in the room, guys. Do you have any idea when the last time the right had a riot?
The Brooks Brothers riot was pretty right-wing coded. Beyond that,
in the 2000s?
Yeah, beyond that, we had to go back
J6?
probably 100 years. I mean, J6, yeah.
J6 was bad.
There was a lot of weird actors involved in J6. It wasn't a purely like just mainstream right-wing riot endorsed
I'll give
by
it to him.
mainstream conditions.
I'll give it to him.
Well, grant that. Go back before that. You'd probably have to dig deep. You really would.
I don't know if you can find traditionalist conservatives, Christians going out and being violent.
I also just wanted to make a quick I don't know if it's correction or just statement. Clarification would be the right word. Brent Scher, the editor-in-chief of the Daily Wire, he put a statement out saying Ben did not have any college stops planned. He had 2 book signings that he canceled out of respect for Charlie Kirk, not security concerns. Ben still plans to attend college campuses this year. The Daily Wire will not be deterred.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So let me just go back to that point that I was making with the Heat and conservatives. What their intention is, when people like Seth Moulton put out this data, is to trick people that, me, for instance, South Side of Chicago, urban, mixed race, second generation, skateboarding, moderate. They say he's right wing. And then they want you, as a liberal who doesn't watch my show, to say, but he's right wing. That means when a white supremacist psychopath kills people, they say he and Tim Pool are the same.
I don't like this argument because he's not proving his point. I mean, he has this chart up and he's making his statements, but he's not activating the chart like I already did. Like, he's not actually going into this and clicking on right-wing anti-government, seeing it, clicking right-wing other, seeing it. Like, he's not proving his point. He just has a cool slideshow up with no evidence behind it. Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, this doesn't make any sense to me why he's not selecting anything.
Now, if we actually broke down the ideologies, what would we find? I am not going to claim the Krasensteins are Antifa. I certainly disagree with their opinions. I certainly think that they can embolden some of these lunatics very often. But I draw a distinction with liberals and leftists all the time. The left is pro-gun, liberals are not. So when leftists are violent, I don't blame the Krasensteins over their tax policy or their disdain for Donald Trump. I'll criticize them for statements they make. Fair point. When Kamala Harris
does he click on
solicits funding, donations for...
Let's see what this is about.
CNN called it cultural issues and didn't inform. In fact, let's be real. A sex worker showed up to I think it was a Turning Point event.
It was a TPUSA, yeah.
You can't even have a bad job. They'll throw you out.
Yeah.
What the media and what Seth Moulton, what these Democrats try to do is lie to people who don't pay attention. So I'll give you another example. When CNN...
I feel like that's what he just did. Am I crazy for that? I feel like he is lying to people who are not looking into it. Is that wrong?
Let's pull this one up. When the Wall Street Journal confirmed that the shooter had transgender and anti-fascist ideology scrawled on their weapon, CNN called it cultural issues and didn't inform their audience. So they are simultaneously omitting information and putting on the air Seth Moulton to tell you it was the right wing. It's their fault. They're the ones engaged in this violence. MSNBC, when Charlie got shot, said maybe it was someone firing a gun in celebration.
That was crazy. That was a crazy...
You can see it plain as day. CNN omitting this information is because they don't want it in their archives. They don't want it on the record that the leftists are violent and dangerous and the biggest threat to our security right now. Don't get me wrong. Violent far-right groups are dangerous and a threat, but am I looking over my shoulder at any point because there's some violent white supremacists lurking around? No. And you know what? When I was a kid, white supremacists attacked my family home and threw a brick through our window because my family is mixed race, Asian, white. And to this day, despite that, fear, because I have social media right now expressing their desire. When a child was at the Lincoln Memorial, they tell you they want to do it. They're all over social media right now expressing their desire. When a child was at the Lincoln Memorial, minding his own business, and a Native American man got in his face banging a drum, they posted wood chipper pictures with blood splattering out of them.
That was crazy.
They said they wanted to punch that kid in the face.
I remember that.
They said, hey, punch a Nazi. Nazis are bad, right? And when normies went, yeah, they said, okay, now we're going to point out the Nazis for you. And they started calling literally every conservative and anyone who challenged the establishment a Nazi. So I'm sick of this. I say enough already with these Democrats lying. Mm-hmm. Whatever effort Trump's can and do under law.
Yeah, you had a brick thrown through your window.
To
Relax.
secure and shut down this expansion of violence.
I mean,
I think we need to use every civil legal tool, every criminal legal tool, and enough is enough.
Yeah, I mean, well, this reduces down, like you're saying, this political violence.
But to the greatest extent possible.
I want to see
Trump and Melania Kirk. What hope we get.
Okay, so this bugs me. I already said it, but it pisses me off because he brought up a site that had a tool to show you right-wing other. If he selected right-wing other and hit apply and the map just illuminated like the 4th of July, I would be more likely to believe him on the whole skewing the stats thing. But now that I went to the website myself and I clicked on the things, and literally 0 things happened when I clicked on right wing other, he didn't prove any point. He manipulated he used his platform to manipulate the audience to believe that the stats are changed on these website, the ADL's website, because he said so. He didn't prove anything. He just said that's what they're doing. And I went to the website and looked at it, and it doesn't look like that's what they're doing. So like, this pisses me off. This doesn't make any sense to me. It's doing this very same thing that he said that CNN is doing to us. So not happy about that. Not a fan of that. Ooh, do we listen to Wes Huff here? I don't know. I don't know if I can handle a Wes Huff. Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for all that. Okay, we're gonna go home. We're gonna see what we got on our feed on the home screen. That's funny. Okay, here. Let's watch this. Let's watch this and see what happens, and let's see how Andrew Wilson handles these guys. To be fair, okay. All right. So we'll do it one more time. So ADL.org, resources, heat map, down here. Okay. Oops. I didn't even do that. Okay. So here, all right. So we'll do ideology. We will do right-wing white supremacists. All right. And we will take out everything but anti-Semitic incidents. This data set's results are not filterable by ideology for a comprehensive. I don't know what that means. I didn't really. Okay, so you can't. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do police shootings, okay? So right now, if I click right-wing white supremacists, these are all of the anti-Semitic incidents with Nazis, basically, the KKK. All right. So now we will click right-wing other. None. No incidents under right-wing other. Okay. Now we'll do LGBT. White supremacist propaganda. White supremacist events. Extremist murders. Terrorist plots. Police shootings. Nothing. Nothing is listed under right-wing other. And that was his whole point in his segment. His whole point was to tell us that because there is a right-wing other category, that is where they shove all of the other incidences. Incidents. Yeah, incidents. But there is literally nothing on here for right-wing other. So this completely voids his argument. Unless I'm missing something. Even if we select that and click apply again. 0 instances. Instances. That was the word I was looking for. None. So what is his point by saying that? His point, there is no point. At least on this website, there is no point. Right? Or am I wrong? And also right-wing anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is a KKK issue. Technically, right now, it could be a left-wing issue also because of Palestine and Israel. Like the people that got burned alive. I can't remember where that was. That old World War II veteran, or not World War II veteran, but the concentration camp survivor. I believe that was considered a left-wing event. But yeah. Let me see. I want to get. Let me see. Let's do Turning Point. Turning Point USA videos. Here's an interesting thought. What about Officer Tatum? He's a man of faith. Pretty good at hearing people out, listening to what people have to say. Let's listen to this. This might be good. We might have found. We might have found one. We might have found one. Let's take a look. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, I did want to just ask you a little bit about if you could speak on the DEI programs and why you think that they're racist.
Right. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. If you look at the results of how it has been implemented, it mostly benefit who? Who do you think it benefits?
People with low income or...
What race?
Usually the ones that have been discriminated for so long, so it could be anyone.
I love how she's nervous to say black people. She's looking right at him. You know? Well, not technically she's not looking right at him. She's looking over his shoulder or looking at a tree somewhere because she doesn't want to say black people.
From African American, Hispanics, honestly, like any race with low income, it could be anyone.
So do you think the intent of diversity, equity, inclusion, and the intent and outcome are consistent, right? Do you think that intent and outcome mean they want this to happen and it is happening through the implementation of diversity, equity, inclusion? Do you think that those two things are congruent? Let's just say you think that it is. Would it shock you for me to tell you that it isn't? The people who benefit the most from diversity, equity, inclusion are white women.
White women, yeah.
Would
I
that
knew that
shock
was
you?
coming.
No.
But I thought diversity, equity, inclusion is to include minority groups, meaning that people who are discriminated against openly, which are black people, which in some cases are minorities that people believe that are discriminated against. You would think diversity, equity, inclusion are benefiting minority groups, when in fact they're not. They're benefiting white women more than any other group, which is probably the least minority group in the world, in the country. I'm saying that what we should do, instead of saying, I need more black people, right? Whether they're as qualified or not, we should not do that because that creates racism and division and frustration amongst people who are qualified. What we should do is say, if we have a lack of diversity in this particular field, how about we help kids from the time they're in school and elementary to be qualified to equally compete, not throw them into the fray. We saw this happen at universities when it comes to affirmative action. A lot of African American and minorities who are less qualified, that they give scholarships to or they put them at universities, they end up.
This is what we talked about earlier about Harvard. I don't know why I felt like I had to stop it to say that, but we talked about this.
dropping out of school because they're not qualified. But it satisfied their quota by saying we have black people more, but they're not qualified and they're dropping out of school. Instead of setting them up for failure to bolster this virtue signal of having minority representation, how about you make sure the schools are adequate enough that minorities can compete? When you are thwarting the opportunity of somebody who worked hard because they're white, because they don't fit the minority description, that's wrong. People should be equally qualified and compete. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I don't think that's what's happening with DEI. They're discriminating against people. They're saying we need more Hispanic people at the University of Texas. And so a bunch of qualified people who are white, who are native, or what you name it, they are overlooked because they need more Hispanic, because they need a number, not necessarily because these people are effectively earning the position. Maybe in its intent, I don't know, I think the intentions were wrong. But maybe in its intent, it meant to go one way, but it's not filtering the way that people think. When you look,
I don't think they could have, honestly, I don't think they could have known when it was first implemented. I don't think it was a malice thought process. Like, I don't think they did it. Maybe I'm giving too much credit, but it doesn't, I feel like DEI, or affirmative action, I guess is what they're talking about. I feel like affirmative action was a really good idea, but it shouldn't have been at the colleges. Like, I feel like affirmative action should have been looked at as, okay, like we were talking about earlier about the inner city schools, like, you should get all of the test scores from all of the schools. Whichever schools are doing worse, you pump the money from the schools that are already doing good, or increase the budget, I guess. But you pump that money into the inner city schools to pay the teachers more, to get more security if you're worried about violence in the schools, or if people feel unsafe. But you pump the money into those schools and help those children, so like elementary, middle school, high school, you help them get a better education there. Did I just crack the code? I think he's totally right. I think you do that from a young age. Like, I love it how I just like heard him say it. And then I was like, you know what? I think that it'd be really cool if we would have just done this instead, and just totally stole his idea. I know. Yeah. Pretty good stuff. Content creator. But no, I think he's on the right track. I think that's much smarter to embolden the kids at a much younger age, give the money to the schools, help them develop, help them stay focused, and get them a equal opportunity to get in to the colleges. Test scores, just on test scores alone. I think that's right. But like I said before, I don't think they initially put affirmative action in place to be a bad thing. I think it just, it was done incorrectly.
Look at the people who are protesting against DEI being eliminated. Who are they? Black people. Al Sharpton came out and said, we're going to boycott Target. We're going to boycott this. Black people aren't even benefiting from DEI. It's all a farce. Instead of people doing what they're supposed to do to protect people in their youth and making sure schools are equal and they're educating kids, they are neglecting that, and they're handling it on the back end. And I don't think that's the way we should be doing in society.
Yeah, and I honestly, I do agree with what you're saying of like, we should be helping them from the start, but in this world, that's not.
Yeah, I totally kleptoed his idea and made it sound like it was my own. That was my bad.
Like, we can't say all of our ideal like pictures, like not everything's working out, but DEI was supposed to do that, and it was like DEIA for like even anyone that has like any like needs more accessibility to programs or like more things. And I don't know why we're cutting off programs that are still in some way, shape, or form helping like with these like low-income families, people who can't afford college, people that like need the help, it did still benefit and help a lot of good people that truthfully did need it, you know?
Right. I kind of get what you're saying. But what program specifically are you aware of here that was eliminated, and what effects do you think it had?
Yeah, so for example, like the first generation programs, or even like a lot of the people that like need scholarships or grants, all those things got like removed and taken off, and a lot of the grants of like a lot of the like spending just got cut for like people that needed the money. And so I don't know, I think that shouldn't have been deleted and just taken everything recklessly out of the table.
Yeah, I think that I get your point. I understand where you're coming from. I'm just a little leery at trying to manufacture equality. This is what happened in the civil rights era. This is what happened in Jim Crow. The government
that's good.
Implemented laws.
I feel, maybe I'm wrong here, but I feel like Florida is doing almost everything right. Like maybe except for like the Palisades hosting an illegal immigration concentration camp. Like maybe other than that part, I feel like they've done everything else pretty right with all their changes and stuff that they've done. Am I wrong on that, or am I like, there's no income tax, right, in Florida? You have vaccine choice now in Florida. You have looks like this budget goes to inner city schools. That seems good. Do they have school choice in Florida? Oh, wait. It'll be like 15 seconds. We'll wait. No big deal. They've clamped down really hard on immigration, I believe. Maybe not from Cuba and Puerto Rico because they really like those guys. The insurance issues are rough. Like health insurance, or like house insurance, car insurance, property insurance, death insurance, all the insurances. All. You responded yes when I listed off like 40 things. That's funny. Insurance is a problem, he says. Okay. All right.
To separate the races. I don't think that was the will of the people. The government thought they knew what was best, so they implement Jim Crow laws, separate but equal laws, which hurt people. I think the government should not be involved in this stuff. This is what I would argue. This is what I do for my children. I do what's best to the capacity of what God has blessed me with. And I try to help my children in the process to get the best outcome that they possibly can get out of the life that they've been given. I don't need them to get a handout. I don't need them to get funding. I'm going to put them in a position that's best for them, and they got to chart their own path.
Yeah.
Going to the university isn't the end all be all. If you can't get into the university because you don't have the money, you can go get a job. In many cases, and I hate to say this, most people here are being scammed because they're not going to use their degree whatsoever. And they may have been better off going and working in the field in which they're passionate about and gaining experience and building relationships than being at a university.
That's what I told my son. That's what I'll tell all my kids. When you graduate high school, take a year off, work. You can work a crap job to figure out what you want to do with your life. You know, I mean, you can start that in high school. You can work the crappy jobs, the kitchen, dishwasher, the busboy. You could be a waiter. You could be a sous chef. I mean, just at like a cafe or something, not like a 4 or 5 star Michelin restaurant, but like you can do the little things to get on your feet and figure out, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. But then also, like, the craziest thing is, like, entry jobs are so important for kids. Because, like, I remember I worked at a little cafe when I was 14, I think, 14, 15. And I was the busboy to start. Okay. I learned how adults communicate. Okay. I was able to watch how adults communicate and the arguments that they would get into back in the kitchen. Cause it gets heated. Like Hell's Kitchen, like that's for real. Like chefs really do scream at each other. Like that's a real thing. Tempers flare, people throw stuff, people are waiting for their food, something's behind, whatever. But then you also learn like, okay, I'm going to work hard at my job. Yeah, it's a busboy. Yeah, it sucks. I still get a check. And then it's like, oh, you were doing really good as a busboy. Hey, this person's out. Do you think you can make salads tonight? You do good at making salads. You've understood it. You've been watching people do their jobs. Okay. Do you think you can maybe help prep like the stuff for tomorrow? Can you help me make some dressings? Can you help me do like the prep work, cut the veggies, all that stuff? Okay. Now you're a fry cook. Okay. You went from busboy to making salads to the prep work to the fry cook. Okay. Next step is, okay, the head chef needs help with stuff like the little stuff. He's going to make the main dishes. You help with the side stuff. Okay, cool. You do that. And then you start getting tips from, not tips money, but like tips of your job from the head chef. Like you can work your way up in like 6 months at a restaurant, all the way up to right underneath the chef. Like it's not hard, but you need that experience in life to know that there's an ability to grow. You need those life events, those as small as they seem. Like those are some of the most beneficial times. Like for me growing up in my development was I can understand now how adults talk to each other. I can understand how people react on the outside, bussing tables. I can hear the customer saying, man, what the hell is taking so long with my mashed potatoes? Like all those, you can hear all of those complaints and you can mix everything together and understand things. And if you just graduate high school with never having a job and then go to college and then graduate and then you get your job that you've always wanted, my dad said I wanted to be this, so I did it and now I'm doing it and this sucks. How would you know? How would you have any idea what you want to do when you grow up if you don't do anything until you grow up? Just my 2 cents. Just my 2 cents. Like you need that. You need that time off. So I tell all my kids, you don't go to college unless you know exactly what you want to do and you're for sure that you want to do it. You can get a different job, start out, go back to college. It's totally fine if you want to go to college in a couple of years after you graduate. You can go to college if you wanted to till you're 80. Like colleges will take you forever. So if you ever change your mind, guess what? They're accepting applications. You have a master's degree and it means nothing. Well, hey, bro, it's a piece of paper. All right. And it came from a tree and you better be happy that you have it.
And coming out with no connection. So it's not the end of the world to be introduced to the university if you can't afford it. It's okay to go and work a job. It's okay to be an entrepreneur. It's okay to start a business. And as a community, it's better for you to help your community than ask the government to interject, because they never do it properly, and it always yields a false result. I bet a lot of people who voted for diversity, equity, inclusion were black, minorities, and others who wanted this to happen, and it didn't even benefit them. Because you cannot manufacture equality. It has to be something societally pushed, and it has to be individuals taking accountability for their own lives.
Yep.
I don't need a handout. I don't need anybody's money. I don't want people to base what they do for me or against me on the color of my skin. Just get out my way and let me chart my own path. I may not be a billionaire. That's may not what God has called for me to be. But the goal is for people to maximize the potential in what they have in themselves. Not everybody's going to go to the University of Texas. They're not qualified. Not everybody's going to go to college. They can go to junior college. What's wrong with going to junior college?
Great point.
You know,
Much
not
cheaper.
everybody, maybe you should go to trade school instead of going to college at all.
Trade school is much
I
better.
mean, my college experience was good, but I had a free scholarship. I played football. So I could do whatever I want to do. I could study whatever I want to study. I didn't even use my degree. If I didn't have that plaque, I forget what I studied. I don't remember half of that stuff at school. My experiences post-college was more beneficial than my experiences in college when it comes to learning about money, building a business, all of those things. So we should not leverage the government to force diversity on people. People need to take responsibility for themselves, take responsibility for their community, and make themselves qualified so they can compete. And I like that method better than the government implementing things against the will of the people.
Yeah, I do.
Is it just me or did she look terrified talking to him? I mean, maybe she was like stage fright, like a little bit nervous, but she looked absolutely terrified talking to him like that whole time. That was kind of crazy. But I mean, I want to see him interact with somebody who's a little bit more divisive, if you will, somebody who's a little bit more aggressive at him. I know somebody like tried to fight him or something at one of these TPUSA things, but she looked absolutely terrified. So guys, good candidate here. Good candidate. I mean, calm guy, nice guy. He doesn't quite have the same like statistic backing that like Charlie Kirk did. But like in due time, you know. But I like this. I like this fella here. At least for the way that he talks to people. At least, and I think that has a lot to do with him being in law enforcement and his body language training and stuff. But let's see if we can find another. Here, let's try this one. They're weaponizing our struggle to tell us a lie. Heated college debate. Here we go.
I'm Chris.
What's your name?
Chris.
What's up,
Chris?
Chris?
Okay, Chris.
I want you to tell me exactly the point in history where America was great.
You know,
As
it's
a
funny.
black man.
Point to me a time in history where America wasn't great. Tell me where
The
it
birth
starts.
of America.
No, point in America
this
where
country
America
was
wasn't
built
great.
on murder and thievery and deception. What do you mean?
Now let me explain this to you real quick. This is for everybody to listen to. Everybody always have this perception.
He kind of shot his. I'm going to need you to elaborate on that. What do you mean by that? He kind of shot his. He kind of shot his what? By the way, Bone Thugs and Harmony. I think they had 2 good songs. Hot take. Let me see if I can get my camera to zoom in. Let me see. It's not doing it. It's annoying. It's supposed to. If I do this, do you see me waving, camera? Do you see me? It's not following me. Sometimes the camera listens, sometimes it doesn't. Is it doing it now? There we go. Now she's following me. All right. Rowan, what do you mean he kind of shot his? What are you talking about? You got to fill me in. You fill me in. I'm going to keep the video going.
That we shouldn't acknowledge America as being great. America started at a certain point and grew and came better over time. No country that you know of was 100% perfect at the foundation. No country.
You
no
didn't answer my
country in the
question.
world. No countries in Africa, no countries in Europe. You can name it. Everybody started at a certain point, and it became greater
You
over
didn't
time.
answer my question.
Ever since you've been alive, America has been the greatest it's ever been.
You think so?
100%, brother. You can name somewhere else that's better than America. And why don't you live there?
I'm not sure.
I know you're not sure because they don't exist.
Were they?
Show me somewhere else that's as diverse as America. Anywhere.
As diverse?
That's as diverse.
What does diversity mean if people are
Opportunities
being
for
discriminated
all
against?
people. Show me another country that give opportunities for all people like America
Do you
does.
think we have the same opportunity as everybody else, as
Who-
black people?
Yeah, 100%.
With a 200-year economic head start on us and no
What's
reparations?
stopping you now? Aren't you at this university?
Yeah.
You at the university just like all.
He gave some BS reason for that the police shouldn't have went into the school because he is to. Are you talking about that school shooting where like the cops stayed outside for like a half an hour and were like scared to go inside? Is that what you're talking about? And they were like putting hand sanitizer on and stuff, waiting in the hallways, waiting for the bullets to stop flying? I'll wait. Or I'll watch this and then we'll keep talking about it.
White people. How's that any different? Can't you?
I want you to go 2 blocks that way and tell me where they at.
You can read. You can go to class. You can make good grades. I'm hoping that you're making straight A's. How is America stopping you from doing that? And how is it stopping you from being prosperous enough to go down the street and make a difference in your own community? How is America stopping you from doing that?
Why is it my responsibility to make a difference in my community that was sabotaged from the start?
I don't think. Let's go back to the foundation.
Do you think the CIA planted drugs in our communities?
They didn't make you sell it.
Do you think they?
No. I agree.
Do you think they burned down
stories of how
black
the CIA,
businesses? Do you know what Black Hollywood is?
Let's go one at a time. I've heard stories that the CIA planted drugs in the inner city communities. Not every black community, but in some. They still don't make you go and sell drugs to your brother, do they? Why are you not selling drugs right now? Because it doesn't make sense for you to do that. You have an opportunity to go to a university, get an education, and make yourself better and make your family better in the next few generations. Nobody's stopping us from doing that. I'm sitting on campus right now, and all these people are listening to me.
You know what's stopping
What's stopping me?
Money.
In America, what's stopping you from making money in America?
What the fuck is not stopping us from making money?
You
what
go
the
to the
fuck
same
do you
university as
mean?
all these white people. How you got a different?
Exactly.
You said what? Excuse me?
We're in debt.
That's
That's our
your
fault. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right?
Okay,
we were never given boots to begin with.
Let's start with this. I actually went and graduated from a university. So I'm not a guy that didn't go to college. I had a full scholarship, so I didn't pay for school in my undergrad. Graduate school, I paid for out of my pocket. I did not get a loan. I mean, I did not have to get loan forgiveness or nothing like that. I had $11,000 worth of debt and I paid it. How is that different than anybody else out here?
Because everybody doesn't have the same opportunity.
I'm black though. How did I pay my loan off and you can't? Or
where you from?
Well, I'm from Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Dunbar High School.
Fort Worth,
right
Texas.
in the hood and stop 6. Right in the hood and stop 6. How did I get to this point if America's against me?
Did everybody in your neighborhood get to that point?
Well, different choices. There's a lot of people in my neighborhood that made it out because they made better choices. I could have sold drugs. I didn't. Why? Because I wanted something better out of my life.
What do you say about the disproportionate wealth? Is that
okay?
Does that not matter?
It's about culture. How much money do you save?
I don't know. I'm in debt, bro.
You in debt. How much do you invest?
I don't know.
How did you get into debt? Who chose to come here?
Me.
Well, that's you laid it out. Now, when you come here, for every college student here, this should be an investment into your future.
Right.
Anybody that know anything about making money knows that you have to invest to get to the next step. You may be in debt.
Money.
You may be in debt to make an investment to get to the next step. So if you do this properly, this is a debt investment to make more money in the future. If you come here and clown around and take a major that won't put you anywhere, then you just got into debt for no doggone reason. It's a cultural thing. Black people in America don't have wealth like others because they choose not to generate wealth through investments and passing their money down.
Who's teaching us to do this?
We should teach each other to do it. Why does somebody got to teach? You want the white man to teach us? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, hell, teach us something.
Okay, no, you could teach.
I don't even know I don't even know if I can comment on this. This is just, I just don't understand the mentality that he has right now. Like, number one, he's not being aggressive. He's just being dismissive. Anything Tatum says to him, he's just like, whatever. Well, what about this? What about that? You didn't. Where are your friends at? Like, it's just all dismissive. And he's trying to give him like decent advice. And Tatum's right. Like, we should be teaching each other this. I don't know half of the crap he's talking about. You know, I don't know all that stuff. We had economics in school, but that didn't teach us much. So got to figure it out for ourselves. Like I think this is like a cultural divide maybe, or like it's not even a cultural divide. It's just a ignorance thing. For some reason, and I'm going to make a generalization here, black people think that white people know stuff that black people don't know. About, let's say, about money. Okay. I don't. I don't. I bet this guy here on the right knows just as much about money as I do. Other than the fact that, like, I have my own business. Like, I don't believe in the white people are holding a secret about money, that they have it in a little treasure box in their nightstand next to their bed, and they just keep it hidden. Whenever a black person comes home, they just tuck it away or put it in their glove box. Don't want to show black people how to make money. Like, how do you blame like white people for that? And why do you assume that all white people like are rich or know everything about money? We should look up the poverty rate sometime. I don't want to do it right now, but we should look up the poverty rate overall. I know there's a lot more white people in America than black people by a lot. But I would assume, maybe assume is the wrong word. I would think that there are a lot, almost equivalent number by ratio, poor people to rich people by the races. Yeah, I'd be a millionaire by now too if I knew the secrets to money, for sure. No doubt about it.
You could teach something. You got a college, you getting a college education. When you have children, teach your children.
So basically help yourselves. We know you have this 200-year head start.
That doesn't matter, bro. You don't have nothing to do with You don't have nothing to do with that.
Oh.
You don't have nothing to do with that.
I thought you said one at a time.
You don't have nothing to do with that.
I don't have nothing to do with what?
The 200 years that you're talking about.
Yes, I do. Have you ever heard of generational trauma, generational wealth? My people don't own anything.
Where you come
nothing.
from?
How can you build something when my people come from nothing? I come from South Memphis.
And I come from Stop 6.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. I went to university.
What does comparison mean?
What
does comparison mean when the statistics say that we are behind?
We're not behind. Some people are behind. We're not behind. Why? Because we make positive decisions. He's not behind. He's not behind. She's not behind. Do I want to go point out all the black people?
You're on a college campus.
College guarantee of success.
You're on a college campus.
It depends on what you do with what you have presented to you. You were born in wherever you were born at. Look at you now. What's the difference between you and other people that didn't choose?
Opportunity.
How did you get an opportunity that other people didn't? You were in debt, so you didn't have the money. You didn't have the money to pay for it.
My parents didn't have much, but they had enough to keep me out the hood trying to make some money any way I can. I know people who have no anything. They have to go out there. They have no other choice. They have a horrible education. Do you know what the education system is like here? It's horrible.
Okay, so let's explain it like this. I wanna make sure we talk it at the same level.
Right.
So in America, every single person has an opportunity to do something with what they have in their hand.
And we have nothing in our hands. That's the point.
Let me say this. I believe wholeheartedly that God gives you a hand of cards to play. Hear me out.
God gives you
Hear me out. God gives you a hand of cards to play. Not everybody's hand is the same. What you can have a full deck of great cards and you play them poorly, you won't make it in life. You can have a bad hand. You play them strategically and you play them right, you'll do good in life.
That's what they say. That's what they say about like billionaires' kids, is that they might be successful, but their kids will not be. Like basically if it's all inherited wealth, the wealth is gone by the third generation, because they didn't know how the money got there. They didn't keep the businesses going. They didn't keep doing the things that they were supposed to be doing. So that's what he's saying. Like you could have a full deck of cards in your hand. You could have every card possible, but if you don't know what the hell you're doing with your cards, you're going to lose the game. So, I mean, I think he's 100% right in this what he's saying. I mean, you could be, there's a story about that. I can't think of who it's about. I don't know if it was a white guy, black guy, white girl, black girl, Mexican girl. I don't know, but there's something's coming to my head where it's like maybe it was God coming right into the old temple here. But there's a story about, you'll get that if you watch the whole stream. But there's a story about somebody who was like out on the streets at like 6 and then ended up becoming like a multimillionaire. I mean, you have like the whole, like, the chick who wrote Harry Potter story where she was like homeless with her kids or whatever, and then wrote Harry Potter. Now she's like a gajillionaire. J.K. Rowling or whatever. But even that story works. Like, she was homeless with kids. And then she was like, you know what I'm going to do? I used to tell my kids stories, and I'm just going to write them all down and see if people like them. Boom. Millionaire. Her cards were a 9-2 offsuit. And somehow she bluffed her way all the way up to win the pot. So, I mean, there's so many stories of that where kids come from literally nothing. They start with a little food stand. Now they've got 800 restaurants. Like, there's all kinds of stuff like that. You just got to try and not give up. Like, that's literally it. If you fail, figure out how you failed. And if you failed because you gave up, that's it. That's the end of your road. But if you failed and you can find the point where you failed and learn from it and try again and keep trying after every time you fail and keep trying, you can make it work. The mentality of you owe me something, they owe me something is so, because all you're going to do is get, and you're not going to know what to do with it. It's like teach a man how to fish kind of a thing. If you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. It's the same mentality. I know what he's saying too, though. Like, why didn't the white man teach me how to fish? I get that. I hear that. I maybe that was the wrong analogy. Could have been.
So good hand growing up where you grew up at. You made positive decisions that led you here. That's the hand you've been dealt. Everybody don't have a freaking silver spoon in their mouth. America is the only place.
They proportionately.
Who is they?
Everybody else, man.
Everybody else, like who? Are you saying white people? Brother, you in the same situation as all these white people, and you play the victim.
Am I?
You at the same university?
Am I? What does the same university have to do with anything?
You go to the same classes?
I had a 4.3 GPA in high school. I did what I was supposed to hit. I did what I was supposed to do.
What's your GPA now?
3.6.
Brother, what's holding you back then?
That's the point. Everybody doesn't have a 3.6. Everybody is
Do you just get a 3.6 because you woke up one day? You studied, didn't you?
Right. No, I actually didn't.
You didn't study. So then you have a gift that you can go and make a 3-point something and don't even study.
Right.
Brother, I mean, I don't know. I think we're wasting our time talking to each other. The bottom line is that if you study, you work hard, you play the cards that you're dealt properly, you will be successful.
True.
This country makes more millionaires than anywhere in the world. You can talk, Oprah Winfrey came from nothing. Tyler Perry came from nothing. I mean, you go down the list. The guy who made
FUBU.
Why are you naming rich black people?
Because these are the people.
Why are you naming
what
rich
about me?
black people?
All right, me.
You talking about me and you. I'm talking about everybody in the surrounding, everybody outside of this bubble.
Listen, man, you're a product of your decision making. You're an example that you can come from nothing and come to the university.
A product of your decision making when the majority
you
of
came
others
from
are a
nothing and you're
product
at the
of their
university.
environment.
What are we saying? You came from nothing, you're at the university. Well, how about you go and teach other young men like you that grew up where you grew up how to do what you did to get here, period. What's the problem in that? Well, come to the mic, please. Can you come to the mic?
He want me off the mic.
No, it doesn't matter about recording. Can you come to the mic so we can hear your question, please?
Come on, we
no,
double
it's
team the
so
mic.
we can get the audio in.
We can double team the mic. We can double team the mic.
Just
It's
ask
okay.
the question and I'll try to answer your question. Hold on one second. What's your question?
How does everyone have an opportunity when systematically the U.S. has multiple inequities within?
What inequities? Can you explain one? Wait, inequities in education, what does that mean? Do you consider yourself a minority? I do. Is the country against you?
Technically, in a way, it could be.
But it's not. You're here. You did what you're supposed to do to get here. That's what it's about. Individuality.
So
if you do,
so that's a huge. I feel like this is like the biggest difference between like conservatives and liberals is conservatives look at everybody as an individual and liberals look at everybody as a group. I might be wrong with that assessment, but that's just with all these conversations that I hear, and it's always the counterpart. It's not like Andrew Wilson, it's not Charlie Kirk, it's not Brandon Tatum, it's not even Dave Smith. It's never about the group of people. It's about each person's individual choice and how they got to where they are. We understand that luck is involved in some cases. We understand that, some people's hands of cards are awful. But it is the choices that we make every day. It is your responsibility. It is your duty to make the best choices to be as successful as possible. And everybody is looking for a reason for why they are not succeeding outside of themselves. That's all this debate has been. I'm at the college. Yeah, I got here on my own, but what about? How come I didn't have more help? What if I don't make it? I'm in debt. It doesn't matter if it was my choice. I shouldn't have had to make the choice. It should have been somebody else's choice. Our group is punished. Our group is less than. Who cares about your group? You got God. You got you. How are you failing? How are you failing? Well, I was addicted to drugs. Okay. Whose fault was that? Who made those decisions for you? Who did it? Accountability. I have taught my kids that since day one. You are responsible for the decisions that you make. If you are in trouble, what did you do to get into trouble? There is something that you always do, except for that poor woman on the train. You could argue she sat down in the wrong spot. I think that's a terrible argument. But typically, if something is going on in your life, you can pinpoint a decision to where you made a mistake in your life that caused that problem. My house is foreclosing. You bought too big of a house. I lost my job. You didn't look for another job fast enough. You didn't work 2 jobs. You didn't work 3 jobs. I mean, you can always do more. I think that's my biggest thing is like we spend 12 hours a day on our cell phones. Can you imagine if you downloaded Audible right now? If you downloaded Audible right now and you downloaded 3 books to learn about investing and you put it on 2 times speed and that's all you listen to all day, think about how much further ahead you would be. I actually told my wife tonight I'm going to download Audible and I'm going to start all the books that I hear from any videos. I'm going to write them down. I'm going to buy them on Audible and I'm going to listen to them throughout the day as I work. Because I would like to be educated. What's stopping us? We have the world at our fingertips in those phones. If you used it instead of just mindlessly scrolling, instead of just playing some stupid tower defense game or Roblox or whatever people are playing. I don't even know what people are playing on phones. I don't play games on my phone. But if we would get rid of our distractions and focus on the things that we like actually need to do or want to do, like everybody has a passion. If you just invested in your passion, bro, think about where we could be. Real estate. I want to get into real estate. I want to get into real estate. Okay. Download Audible. Get 5 books by all the best. You could even YouTube it. What are the top 5 books for real estate investment as a beginner? Real Estate for Dummies, probably. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is probably going to have a pretty good book. Robert Kiyosaki's going to have a really good book on it. Dave Ramsey might have a good book on it. Maybe not. I don't know. He wants to buy everything cash. I don't know about him. But there are so many resources that we have. But instead of doing the work, instead of taking accountability and just literally investing in ourselves, we look outside of ourselves to find the problem. We're not getting enough from them. They didn't teach me enough over here. This didn't happen over there. Like, what are we talking about? You can even do YouTube. Like, you can just, bro, I fix my car all the time because I know mechanics are expensive. What do? I go on YouTube. This is the year of my car, or this is the year of my car. This is the part that I need. I think, oh, you can even go before that. My car is making a noise. This is the sound my car is making. What's wrong with it? If your car is making this noise, the chances are it's one of 2 things. Okay, how do I replace said part? Okay, it wasn't that. How do I replace said part? Got it. This is not rocket science. You can do it. Anybody can do it. If you want it, you can have it. This is the greatest time in the world. Right now. You have the ability to do anything that you want to do if you just dedicate yourself to doing it. That's it.
What you need to do, you'll be here.
You as in everybody on this campus.
Listen, some people grow up in a terrible environment. Can we agree? Some people in that terrible environment make positive decisions to get out of that environment. Some people, it takes longer in life to do that.
Like
and that's not a
5%?
black thing. It's a everybody thing. There's poor white people in this country too. Do you not forget that? Most people on food stamps are white. Most people incarcerated are white.
Most people in the country are white.
Most people get killed by police are white.
Most everybody in this country is white. What does that statistic have to do with anything?
That if poverty was just relegated to black people, it would only be black
You
people that
talking
are
on a
poor.
script. I can't listen.
All right, come on. Next person.
I'm curious.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like the way that he talks to people too, because he's very real about it. He seems very genuine. He listens to people. I think he does. Like he said, you're talking on a script. I think he does kind of do that. He kind of has his talking points that he likes to hang out on. Which is why he went to the most people shot by police are white. Like, that's a very popular talking point for him. I think he has lanes that he likes to stay in, and that's kind of his home base kind of a thing. But I don't know. I found tonight enjoyable. You know, what do you guys think? Was tonight all right? I think next stream I'm gonna do try to mix in a little bit more godly videos. I think I'm gonna react to some more Christian values style stuff from Charlie Kirk. Maybe get into some other videos that I watch personally, and do some reactions to that and kind of have maybe a little different conversation. I don't really want this to be like another like right versus left channel or like too political. I mean, these are what they're talking about is like societal, which I mean, society and politics kind of go hand in hand, But I am a Christian conservative, white nationalist, I guess you could say, if you want to put a label on it, which makes me technically a Nazi, right? I mean, if we're going by today's standards, that's what I am. I don't know why I just said that. I'm clearly not that. But just by the description. So I'm a white man, clearly, right? I'm a Christian. Jesus Christ is my savior, right? Okay, cool. I believe the U.S. should come first. This is my home. I think we should make our bed before we make somebody else's bed, right? I think we should put our oxygen mask on before somebody else puts their oxygen mask on. Or before I give my oxygen mask to someone else, right? And I'm a conservative, obviously, because I'm a Christian. I think those two, if you're a Christian, those two kind of go hand in hand. If you're a biblical Christian, conservatism is hand in hand with Christianity. So, yeah, in today's standards, I'm not a very good person. But I feel like I'm an okay person, right? I want to help people. That's why I'm doing this channel. I want us to be more godly in our society. I want us to be more understanding. I want us to be able to listen to people. And eventually we might branch out and do some kind of like a crosstalk kind of a thing and just talk through things. But I want it to be more God-based. I really do. Like, I want Jesus to be the center of my channel. And I might get back to... All right, Rowan. See you later, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for staying the whole time. That was awesome. I appreciate all the comments. But yeah, I really want that to be the focus, and I want us to be able to have dialogue about stuff. Like, if you don't agree, write it down in the chat. Let me know. Like, that's what this is all about. That's what I want. I want us to be able to have conversations. I want us to be able to have fun. I want us to be able to actually dig into each other's, like, views and explain ourselves. So, yeah. Like Rowan said, see you guys next